live, it says. Yay, okay. Everyone's gone out to lunch, so I have the place to myself for the first time in I don't know how long. I don't know what that funny little bar was just going across there, so hopefully this is working. Anyway, yes, house to myself for the first time in ages. I had the option to go to lunch, but I was like, it's windy in Sydney today. It's also heaps cold. Like, look at me. Look how many layers I'm wearing all of a sudden. Like, we were having a nice sort of spring weather, and then all of a sudden, here comes winter again. So yeah, I'm not going out to lunch. I found some leftovers in the fridge. There's actually a lot of good food. So hang on, what are you saying to me over here? The state of the world 2020 bioethics. Oh my God. I'm trying to work out what do I live stream about because yeah, people don't tell me really what their plans are and when I'm going to have the place to myself. So yeah, if you've got topics, chuck them in the live chat. Did I set up live chat properly? Hello, Lewis. I'm sorry if my pronunciation's shit. Yeah, hello. It's been a while. Hey. So this week, yeah, I haven't posted a whole lot of long videos. What I went out with my friend the other day. Hello, Mystic Ravenous. Yay! I wasn't sure if anyone would be here because once again, I had no time to tell you I'm doing this. No, it's been a week. So I've been talking about how I've had feelings of emptiness and I've sort of been worried that I've been getting depressed. And that was pretty bad this week. That's why I went out on Monday with my friend because I was just like going into one of those spirals and, figured let's get out of the house and distract me for a bit. And that worked for a bit, but then I was feeling kind of garbage again. And then, I had a theory, but it just broke down because I remember all the timing. So, no, I was thinking that maybe it was, maybe my mood had something to do with the Nasonex. So, I tried the Claritine and that definitely made me depressed. Like it was so sudden and so such a chemical kind of feeling. With the Nasonex though, for me, what I've been finding is when I start using it, I get agitated, and when you look online and people's experiences with Nasonex, a lot of them will feel anxiety. The people who write in with complaints, a lot of them are feeling anxiety when they start on it. Whereas I just feel agitation. To me, it's a different feeling to when I'm feeling anxious. I'm not really sure how to explain. I just sort of feel agitated, but I can get on with my day. And maybe that's just I wonder if it's a reflection of the fact that I can deal with anxiety apparently better than other people who have the same levels, according to those questionnaires you do about anxiety at the psychologist. I tend to test high, but it doesn't bother me in the same way as depression. I wondered that, but then when I really think about it, it feels like a different kind of feeling to what I interpret as anxiety. It just feels like agitation, and I'm just like, ooh, boy. And I think sometimes maybe interpret that with the destroyer lens of different parts of me. What are you woofing at? Please just be the wind. Everyone's meant to be away. Hopi! Hopi, what are you woofing at? Come here. Oh my God, I might have to chase him. Yeah, anyway, so I start taking the Nasonex. I feel a little bit agitated. And it seems to go okay, but I think a couple days later, I start to feel a bit bummed. But now when I think about it, the timing doesn't work because I did a week of Nasonex where I was doing it twice a day, 2 squirts up each nostril. And that did control the hay fever. But then I was about 4 or 5 days in, was starting to feel a bit, so I pulled right back and I didn't use any for a while, for a few days. I should have written down when I was using it all because that would really help me work out whether or not it's having an effect. But yeah, towards the end of last week, what's today, Saturday? Towards the end of last week, yeah, I was starting to feel a lot more of the emptiness stuff and just feeling depressed and so on. And then I went out with my friend on Monday, and then Tuesday night I used the Nasonex. I just did 1 squirt in each nostril, and then Wednesday morning before work I did again, and I had the agitation at work, and then the rest of the week I've been feeling that sort of empty, depressed feeling again. And I thought, oh, that could be the Nasonex again. But now that I think of it, I was feeling shit, and that's why I went out with my friends before I started using it again. So, it's so hard to figure out. But I think if the Nasonex is making me feel a bit depressed, it might just be a mild influence. And I think even without it, I've probably got some issues at the moment. And I think it's just all the disruptions this year, and I can't do a lot of the stuff that I usually do. And so instead, I sit around doing nothing much at all. Like, it's even hard to get on YouTube because there's always people around, and I just can't film when people are around. I think it's like this anxiety of people watching while I'm creating something in person. Like, you guys are watching me live stream now, and that's not a problem. But if you were in the room with me, that might throw me off. Yeah, because I don't really make videos with other people that often. So yeah, and I think, the way that you talk to a camera and all that kind of stuff, it's a little bit different to talking to another person. I mean, for one thing, the camera has no body language. You guys leave some chats every now and then, but it's different. And then I think because you're not with people, you kind of have to talk in a different way, or I talk in a different way, I think, to how I would talk when someone's around. I think if I was with someone, hello, TC. I think if when I'm with someone and if they get me onto like some tangent that I'm just like, boom, and they can't get a word in, I'm sorry. I think maybe I go into more of like YouTube rambly mode. But I do think, I don't know, I don't watch myself when I'm with other people. Like, if there's a camera on, hey, it's a webcam. I haven't seen you turn up in ages either. So exciting. Yeah, hello everyone. Anyway, yeah, no, so I've been having some issues with my mood and and yeah, just trying to figure out what's going on. Possibly the Nasonex is like exacerbating whatever I'm going through, but I think also, yeah, I've got problems. Disruption to the routine, I think, has led to some bad habits where I'm just sort of sitting around like, what do I do today? And yeah, like, for a while there, I was watching a fair bit of YouTube. And then I sort of got to this point where I was just like on Facebook, just sort of like scrolling through the feed, refreshing the feed, not really even seeing half the posts that are there. It's just like, come on, something jump out at me. I don't know. And just sort of like staring at nothing every now and then. So it's not good. And I'm concerned that if that goes on, I might end up depressed again. So I'm working on stuff. I'm going to see my doctor again on Monday because, yeah, this week was getting really bad. Thursday night, I think, was really bad. Maybe with that extra Nasonex effect, I don't know. I was also really tired because Wednesday, bonsai, I was working out the back section and things are a little bit crazy there and trying to get into places to reach plants and work on them. We've got a lot of starter plants at the back and they needed some cleaning up, and the main space was being used for lessons. So I just stayed in that back area, sort of walking over all these weird little bits. And I got a really bad pain in my thigh and this muscle back here. So I guess I was like tired and sore, Nasonex, also just already feeling empty and horrible. So Thursday night, I think, was really bad. Yesterday was Friday. Mum and I went to lunch. I didn't dress up so much. Oh, but I opened my cat mask, and this is me now. Anyway, no, I was considering doing a proper video about that because there's more to this mask than I realized when I bought it, so I'm pretty happy with it. But there are some things about, like, it feels different to breathe through it compared to some of the other masks and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Do you guys want mask reviews? Does anyone want mask reviews? Or do people just see it as, like, stuff that you put in front of your face and most people don't want to wear it, and I'm the only nutcase who's like, yay, we get to wear crazy masks and no one can question me on it. Solo host, will be interesting to see what outfits you construct for that persona. Hang on, what are we talking about? Which post? Which post when? I'm a little bit confused. Let me see what I was writing. Oh God, I don't even know. Was that one of my Facebook posts or a Patreon post? The cat mask post. Oh, oh. The mask isn't a persona for me though. It's just like I enjoy wearing crazy masks, and what can people do? Nothing. Although, like, I've got another cat mask. Maybe that's what you're talking about. I've got my other cat mask and it's a bit more cartoony, and it's also like that sort of brown color, and it's got a little pink nose. And it goes with some things. Yeah, well, I mean, it has more of a like, depending on how you interpret it. I think if your face is more like, it's more of an aggro cat. But if you're like, it's more of a like, not aggro. I don't know. I think the way that you do your eyes can change how you interpret this mask. But no, the difference between the two, I mean, this one's a bit more realistic, less cartoony, and it's also black and white, which means that it can go with a few more different outfits. But no, like, it's got different layers and like other features, and I don't know. I bought it from Typo. Do people have Typo outside Australia? I don't know. Francisco, hello. I don't recognize your name. Welcome to the Nut House. Yeah, anyway, no, so I have been, more you can do with it. Hello. I haven't looked at your message over the Asian mom. Oh my gosh, maybe I'll read out some of those live stream suggestions a bit later on. But no, while I'm on the thought of trying to sort out my head, today I'm doing better. Can you tell? Because I'm all like, hey guys! Wow. No, actually, I woke up feeling a lot better today. I even had breakfast early. I just went back to bed again because it's cold and I'm tired anyway, and bed is like nice and warm. Like, what the fuck with Sydney weather today? It's just like, anyway, so yesterday I decided I'm gonna try and do like creative rehab and try and get myself back into the habit of making things. A few days ago, someone found my video about my second poetry book that's like poems 101 to 200. And I thought I had turned off comments on all my old videos, but apparently I missed this one. And so they commented on it, and that's how I, found myself back on my video from 9 years ago, maybe. And that's when I like used to insert weird shit in the middle of my videos, and then it has this song at the end, and I'm just like, holy shit, I used to make so much stuff. Like, I was heaps motivated to just do these things, and now I just sort of sit around, make the occasional video, mope a lot. I haven't even been practicing vocals that much. Like, I sing along when I'm doing my finance work from home job because that's so dull that I need something like that to, like, not fall asleep, have the rest of me doing something while my brain's just putting numbers into wherever they're meant to go. But otherwise, I haven't really been doing a whole lot of proper singing practice. So, like, I'm a real blob. I'm a real shell at the moment, and it's frustrating. So, yeah, creative rehab, the idea to try and, form a habit in doing something creative every day, like a small creative thing. I don't know what I'm going to do today, but yesterday I did a poem, and so now I've got 600 poems, and I can work on book 6, it would be. Oh my god, when I finally finished typing that up, which, like, I do every now and then when I don't know what else to do. Like, I just found I handwrite all my poetry in this book. Well, there's a few other books because they get filled up over time. But yeah, and then I have to go and type them up. And the typing process, there's no creativity needed. So when I'm not feeling creative, I just open it up, start typing, and it's just like one of those mechanical things, and you're like sort of ticking off boxes as you go along, like, yes, I've typed up another one. Yay me. It's just one of those repetitive things that I can do. But I'm only about halfway through typing them, so I've got to do a bit more of that, don't I? And it's weird when I go back and type them, because some of them, I think the most recent ones I typed up are like 2 years old, and I'm like, what was I thinking about when I wrote this? Because some poems are more explicit, but some of them are, I use a lot of imagery to hide what I'm talking about, or maybe just because I was inspired something. Sometimes the poetry bits are like, I actually hear something while I'm writing it, and I just chuck that in as a line, but in a way that you wouldn't know that I was distracted by something else. So I can't even remember if particular lines were about something, or I'm just like, I can hear a fucking leaf blower in the distance. Let's chuck in a line about that. So it's a weird experience reading some of them a few years later. Yeah. Oh, sorry about the blurring. Um, yeah, anyway, oh god, and I've got, where are my other poetry books? They're over there somewhere. I think that is all my like proof ones, and at some point I want to get all my old ones, like the five, I'm so bad at pointing. The five books that I've already got. I want to like squash them into one mega book, because Lulu Postage, I don't know what it's like anymore. They redid their website, and it like the website transition was a total mess, and there's still things they haven't fixed. So, it's one thing to type up these books, but then to like actually get the website to work so that I can, oh my god. I'm a little to comment here, but I'm in the direct it. I don't know what that means, sorry. Yeah, no, I want to release like 1 to 500 poems, because then I think they just print it all in once. You only pay like whatever the postage is for that. They only take like a smaller cut, blah 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 blah. And then anyone who was wanting to catch up on that craziness, that'll be available. And then I can do 501 to 600 as its own separate thing. But oh my god, I keep coming up with these ideas, and it's just like, when am I going to get around to them? I don't know. We think this virus will be over soon? Not anytime soon. It's going to take them a while yet. Because even when they find a vaccine, I mean, I think they will find something that'll have some efficacy, but how much, we don't know. And then they've got to distribute it, and it basically has to go global, because otherwise you can't open certain countries, and it reemerges, and blah, 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 blah. It's going to take a while. Anyway, yeah, no, poetry. Yeah, no, finding that old video, I'm frustrated about pieces of me that I've lost. Like, I've just like, I'm a shell, I'm dead inside. I have a song, Dead Inside, Rainbow Death Ray. Anyway, so that the creative rehab, then I wrote the poem. Where am I up to? Yeah, no, poem was yesterday's creative thing. So yay me getting that done. When I say poetry though, it's very loose. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have suffered through the English classes I did in high school. I mean, I don't know what it's like today, but when I was in school, shaking my walking stick here, oh god, HSC English was such a joke, and it turns out I'm actually okay at writing and stuff. It's just I didn't understand what the fuck they wanted from me, because I think it was more like university type stuff that they were like. I heard one of the criticisms I heard at the time was it was like university style English creeping into high school syllabus, and yeah, I have too many ideas, but also no motivation to get them done. That means he don't comment much here, but is here. Oh, thank you, Eric, for that translation, and hello. Oh my god, there's a lot of people turned up today. That's different. Hello and welcome to the circus. I'm on a little bit of I don't know, my brain is doing things. I feel better today than I have in the last little while. So yeah, anyway, what was I talking about? I've forgotten. Having lots of ideas. No, I've complete. Someone remind me what I was talking about. That's why you guys are here. You're going to try and keep me on track, but then you also come and confuse the crap out of me with different questions. Yeah, talking about poetry. Yeah, too many ideas. Anyway, so today I've got to do something else creative, something small. Maybe I'll draw something. I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe I should do, like last year I did Inktober. I really only posted it on Facebook and Patreon though, like privately, Facebook and Patreon. But yeah, because like then there's less pressure to make it good, right? But yeah, I guess it depends whether or not I get into Halloscream, because I think trying to do all those drawings every day, especially once I got into it and they became more and more detailed, yeah, while I was doing Halloscream, that became very difficult, because like I was focused on doing all that stuff. Where's my drawing book? I haven't done much drawing either, so I'm still stuck on this book, and some stuff's really old. But like, oh, that was a cool one from Inktober last year. Yeah, no, once I got into it, I think the first one was like just like I did some scribbles to start with, and then yeah, after a while it just got a little bit no, not that one. This is the first one for Inktober last year. Ring. I was just like, yeah, let's just draw a scribble. Yeah, I did this. This is my stuff. Hello, Mike. Yeah. And then it's sort of like, gradually this one has some scribbles too. Uh, oh, and then day 3, we got into duality. Didn't take me long, did it? Bait. uh, um, yeah. Oh my God. There's a lot of stuff. There's what? That was an interesting. Oh, look, here's another duality one. I'm really predictable with some of this stuff, and like eyes. I don't know why, but I've drawn eyes since forever. I think maybe it's that whole symbolic, like, window to the soul kind of thing. And then they're easy to draw in that shape. Like I've got. Oh, can you see it from there? No, I won't. I won't get it. I've got like this dragon eye on the thing. I think when I came back from Chatswood 2 videos ago, you can see it in the background at the very end. This dragon eye thing that I painted. There's a few things wrong with it because younger me didn't care about, refining those details. But yeah. Here's one that kind of was a bit weird. What was it? It was ash, and so I just was like that. And then because I didn't put a thing behind it, you also get this ghost thing on the thing back. And yeah, I left it there because I thought, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Anyway, here's one of the lazier ones, probably when I was getting busy. Oh shit, I don't know where this one came from. That ended up a whole lot more detailed than anything I was expecting to do in Inktober last year. But see, that's the thing. Like, if I get busy in October, then this stuff becomes really like a lot of pressure. Yeah, this one would have been on the bus, maybe coming home from rehearsals, or was that the day that the 18th? That might have been a rehearsal. I don't remember. Or maybe it was when we found out we got the gig, or I don't know. But that's me on the bus looking all evil, and then everyone decided to sit on the other side of the bus, and I swear, like, I didn't. I'm sure I dressed normal and all that, but I was just giving off some vibes, and people all sat on the other side of the bus. Really detailed. So you got the house to yourself. Where'd everybody go? Everyone went to lunch. So my brother, I think, because he's a teacher, I think he's got like end of school stuff. Whatever teachers do at the end of school. They've been setting up new things at their school. I don't know. I was paying attention, wasn't I? And then my parents went to some Japanese restaurant. And I think, well, Dad's walking. I don't know. Mum left beforehand, so maybe she went to the gym or something. Maybe she does have the car. I don't know, but they went at 12:30. It's now 1 something, so we've got some time before they get back. I don't know how long they're going to eat, and then whether they walk home or go shopping or whatever. We'll see. If I have to run away all of a sudden, it's because people have come home and I've been like, ah! Yeah, anyway. In this, like, I drew a rock one day. Oh, this must have been when Howl-O-Scream, like, rehearsals and stuff were really kicking into gear then. Maybe. I don't know. I was tired. Oh, fucking Lego. A bleeding Lego. Because that's what Legos do, right? They make you bleed. Treasure, I did a Dexter one. Oh, isn't it cute? Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's somewhere I just was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there's Hunten. I drew a Hunten. Hunten, Japanese winter coat. I bring it up every now and then because I want you guys to wear it, right? If you go to Japan or you have access to Hunten, please buy them. That's this thing, right? Okay, it's a really nice winter coat, keeps you warm. You can use it as like an extra blanket or something. I don't know, whatever you want to do, just please buy Hunten, because in Japan, when I was visiting my relatives, like, my relatives don't wear it. Heaps of Japanese people don't wear it, and it's getting really hard to find good Hunten. And like, if no one's buying Hunten, where am I gonna get my Hunten? I've had them since as long as I can remember. I've had Hunten, and I hate that they're disappearing. I had to go all the way to Yanaka Ginza and find like this little traditional place to buy this one. Where's this one from? No, I've got a Kyoto Hunten in my wardrobe, which is like kind of expensive and fancy, and so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't ruin it too quickly. And then this one must be, is it not Osaka? Oh, I've forgotten. I've written it down somewhere. Anyway, yeah, I had to go to a traditional place to find a traditional shop in like this tiny little traditional shopping street, Yanaka Ginza. There's a lot of traditional stuff there, or there was when I visited. God knows after COVID what's going to still be around. But yeah, no, buy Hanten, guys, because if you don't buy it and Japanese people don't buy it, it'll die out, and I don't want that, do I? So anyway, yes, that's a nice boulder. Yeah. Oh shit! I just did Dexter in general one day, but there are some details that didn't quite work out. So it kind of looks like him, but also kind of doesn't. And I think, yeah, the eye. When I draw a lot of the like people and animals and stuff, if I get the eye wrong, then the whole thing is wrong to me. And maybe that's why I obsess about drawing the eyes, because yeah, if it doesn't look right, I'm just like, nope, you are dead to me. I think I made the eye a little bit too flat compared to the rest of him, and then I think there's some things where the proportions aren't quite right. But anyway, never mind my problems, my judgment of myself. That was the last one of Inktober. I don't know what you guys see, but I was going for banana life cycle. So it starts off green and then it goes yellow and then it goes brown and spotty. But apparently some people don't see that. They see other things. That's your problem, not mine. Anyway, no, what else have I drawn over the last little while? I don't even know. Not a whole lot of stuff. Like, yeah, I've hardly done anything in the past year. It's just some of it is random crap, like, you know, like what even is that meant to be? I don't know. I just draw shapes and then that's the shit that happens. The last one I did was this thing. Forget what it's about. I wrote about it on Patreon, I think. But yeah, no, shapes and stuff. What's going on with my brain? I don't know. Do you ever think about doing some painting? Coming from someone who doesn't know what he's talking about, hates drawing is always hard for some reason. With painting, so I've kind of stopped painting. This may tie into my whole like creative emptiness. With painting, right? So what happens when I paint is I do like a little sketchy thing underneath, and then you start painting it, and then it looks like crap. So I spend the rest of the time looking at every single flaw and trying to fix it, and it's just never quite fixed. So I keep fixing and fixing and fixing and fixing, and I go completely crazy because I'm like, oh my god, it looks terrible. It's shit. This is so stressful. How the fuck am I going to fix this thing? And then after a while of repeating that process, I stand back and I'm like, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was. I can still see a lot of like issues, but it actually kind of looks like something now. And then at some point, I'll cut out the perfectionism and just be like, yeah, I think that's good enough. I'll show that to someone and they'll be like, yay. And I will still feel like, oh, there's issues here, but they're impressed. So like that, let's just leave it there and say that I meant it to be like that. So basically the whole process of painting for me is really stressful. And I don't understand people who find painting relaxing. To me, it's such a horrible process. I feel shit doing it. It's a lot of work and yeah, it's just a whole process of me going, and then you've got all your paints and you've got to clean them up and I don't like cleaning stuff. I don't like water, like having to do the whole water thing, blah, 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 blah. And like oil painting is even worse, try to get that together. And plus this room is my space. Yes, we've got the rest of the house and like, you know, it's a pretty decent sized house. But this is my space and I can't really leave stuff anywhere else. So I don't have a painting spot. That makes things a lot harder as well. I am hard on myself, but I think that's just like one of those things with art and creative stuff is you tend to judge yourself a lot. But it's not just that. It's like the process itself I find kind of painful. That said, though, I think a lot of this comes back to my current problem of not having any motivation to be creative. And something I was thinking about, hang on, let me just have a drink because I've been going for like half an hour without stopping. I used to love painting when I was younger. To me, it was like being in a dream world, relaxing. I think it had to do with your personality. I think I liked it when I was a kid, but there was less pressure for it to look like something. I've got that. It'd be too difficult to grab that painting. It was so hard to. I've got this painting up there that's a bit more impressionist, like weird sunset thing, and then I came in with a dragon and 7 phoenixes, and that's another duality painting. But some of the meanings that I feel won't be obvious because it goes back into some of my fictional history, like when I was writing a lot. Anyway, no, I think with painting feeling like a chore, I think it comes back a little bit to the problem that I'm going through at the moment, where things just like I don't have the motivation to be creative like I used to. And something I was thinking about, who was I talking to about this? Don't remember. But I think I had a friend on Facebook post something about musicians and mental health and all that. And so, I wrote comment my experience because everyone's doing that thing. And I was thinking about it later. So I think when I got depressed, the things that were happening in my life at the time, I was in Rainbow Death Ray. That's my girl band. The one where like I wrote most of the music, programmed most of it, brought a whole bunch of gear. Like I'm the singer. I'm supposed to be the lazy one, but no, I also had to have a violin and a effects pedal and my computer. Or later I used I think mostly I used the computer, and sometimes had an interface, and like I just had all this gear to make everything work. I did most of our promo type stuff, social media, got our EP put together wherever I've got that. I've still got like 100 CDs. You can buy them on Bandcamp, guys. Buy Rainbow Death Ray CDs on Bandcamp. Anyway, I was just organizing a whole lot of stuff, and it was a busy time because we were crowdfunding for the EP as well. And so I was running that a lot, and it was a lot of work, trying to make the EP, run the crowdfunding campaign, run the normal stuff. Yeah, I play violin. Well, I haven't played in a while because, depression and stuff. Also, I think since I had my braces and all that finished, when I hold it, the chin rest kind of thing, I think it doesn't play nicely with my jaw anymore, and so I get jaw pain. Could be my technique, but I think also my jaw has shifted since I was a kid when I was learning. So yeah, it's painful. I need some lip gloss. Hang on. But yeah, no, Rainbow Death Ray, I was doing so much stuff within the band and like managing the band and crowdfunding, blah, blah, blah. Basically, I was doing a fuckload of work. I was also, I had like the closest thing I've ever had to a full-time job. Like I was getting paid full-time, but I only had to come in from like 10:30 till 5 because in the morning there's nothing to do. And I was so fast at everything that like there was nothing left over for the rest of the day. And they're like, yep, no worries. So I was doing that. I'd have my day job. I'd come home, I'd do Rainbow Death Ray, I'd sleep, I'd do my day job, Rainbow Death Ray, I'd sleep, and like in this cycle and so on. And I was getting really burnt out and didn't realize. And then my grandparents died, and that's when I started thinking all the existential stuff. And then it was just like collapse. Hello to 2+ years of depression, dysthymia, all that kind of stuff. And something I was thinking about, right, is if you consider like Rainbow Death Ray, I was doing like all this creative stuff. I was working towards this huge project to get our EP done. I mean, the girls would help where they could, but I think partly I was the only person who had been in a band before. And then there's a lot of like other things that I know how to do that they didn't know how to do. And then also me being seen as the band leader because I started it, I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I ended up doing a lot more. Anyway, yeah, no. So I was working so hard to get this EP done. Huge creative project, right? And then at the end of it, instead of feeling good, like, yay, I've done this amazing thing, I just collapsed instead. And when you think about it, like if you're trying to train a dog, right? You sit, you give it a treat, it's happy, it's like, okay, I will sit when you give that signal, because then you'll give me a treat. Whereas if the dog like does something wrong, maybe you don't want it to jump on your chair or something, which we don't mind here, but some people don't want their dogs to jump on a chair, so you yell at it, you make it feel uncomfortable in some way, and then it's like, gee, if I do that, I will experience something unpleasant, so maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. And what I'm wondering is, if like a puppy, right? I was working so hard for this project, and then instead of getting some nice feelings, all I remember is collapsing. Maybe I've accidentally trained myself to think, like hard work, creative, blah, blah, ends in pain. And maybe that sort of made it harder for me to be creative, especially that was such like a big chunk of my life that I was just focused on for so long. Rainbow Death Ray wasn't even the music that I really wanted to be making. I don't know how it happened. I don't like rainbows and unicorns. How did I end up in this kind of band? How did I start this band? How did I come up with the ideas? Fuck knows. Yeah, so I think like, I worry that I've been conditioned to be disappointed because of that. But I think also I might be predisposed in that way. Like there's so many different creative things I've done. Like, I don't know if you can see the little fluffy pets next to the little hedgehogs. Condition yourself to make that. Yeah. But I also think it's kind of a natural thing is like I'll work on something and like, yeah, it looks okay, but do I really care? Not really. Like I've made so many things and then I look at it and I'm like, yay, now what? So I don't really get the reward from making stuff, even though I have an impulse to create. There's not that reward, or at least during normal me times or old me times, I'd have the impulse to create. Not so much now. So yeah, but self-accomplishment, but then like it's done and now what? And one of the problems that's even worse with visual art is like, if you can be bothered to get an exhibition going, which is expensive, and then you put all your stuff up on the walls, which is its own chore. Oh my God, hanging stuff. Things I did in my art degree at UNSW, like, oh my God. Getting everything set up in a gallery is its own chore. And then people come in and they look at your work for like 10 seconds and they're done. That's one of the reasons I like music better, because like people will listen to the music longer, and if they like it, they'll listen to it more than once. Whereas if you like a painting, are you really going to go back and look at it that many times? Not really. Occasionally people will buy it, but not that often. I think I've sold one proper painting, the leaf thing. Oh, I was going to put up a video of that. But yeah, it just, also the art world has a lot more wankery, different attitudes. And let's not talk about that award that was on lately, and I just don't understand. Like maybe conceptually they're impressed, but there also seems to be a little bit of woke guilt kind of stuff going on. Spend hours on something that, yeah, get over of the 10 seconds. If you get enough people looking at your stuff, maybe, but it seems to be a lot harder to do that in the art world. And a lot of the art world, it's like fashion and reputation in a way. What do I mean by that? There are some artists, like when you go to uni, the teachers want to show you these particular artists that they like. But when you look at it, like anyone could do half this stuff, especially like contemporary art, which is more conceptual focused, and people don't have to have those skills. You sort of look at the art and you're like, I don't understand why this is a thing. And I think it's partly because they're in the community, the art community, like they're known, they're making a lot of work. They get a reputation with collectors, so they sell stuff. And some collectors don't even care about the quality of the art. They just want something that's like an investment that they can sell later when you're hopefully rich and dead. Like, when an artist dies, their artwork goes up in value, doesn't it? Yeah, and some of the things, like there's this one artist that they really loved when I was at uni doing my master's, where like it's this guy who makes clay sculptures, and he has Pablo, hello from New York. Welcome to the Crazy Show. They want the name, not the actual work. Yeah, it feels like that. I mean, Cam, I was telling you about the guy. I think I was talking to you about the guy who makes. Oh, hello, focus on me. I'm sorry about the focus, guys. It's gone a bit weird. The guy who makes clay stuff, and it's like these horrible, ugly sculpture things. Like they're these weird little characters, and half of them are covered in penises. And he like, we watched this video about him, and he has like a mold to just make hundreds of little penises to stick on his clay sculptures. And I'm just like, really? Like, I guess during the sexual revolution, art about that stuff would have been new and different and provocative. But now it's just like, are you a child? This is art? Are you kidding me? Like, how many more comments can you make about this shit already? And they look horrible. Like, a kid could do this if you gave him enough clay. The reason kids don't make this artwork is because you only give them a small amount of clay and they can only make small things. But if you gave them a huge amount, well, like, make me a big, horrible, ugly man with dicks on it, a kid could do that, you know? It's just like having resources in art is another thing. Like, if you have access to a kiln big enough to fire something that's covered in dicks. I don't fucking get it. And like the assumption that we're all gonna be interested in work like that, yeah, why can't we go into a bathroom and consider the graffiti there art? Like, guarantee you someone has done that though. Like, who's that? I don't know how to pronounce him. That Dadaist guy who put the toilet or whatever it was in a gallery and just like wrote something on it. There you go, art. Like, come on. And then there's this other chick that they were into who does a lot of like I think comments on colonization in Australia, and then she uses this horrible fluoro yellow in it, and she doesn't even animate it herself. She makes these animations and so on, and someone else there, some unnamed person, is doing these animations for her, and she's basically just saying, I want this to happen. I didn't find that particularly impressive. Like, I just was like, why? And I had to watch it so many times. Like, I was at uni 2 years, so the middle of 2016 until the middle of 2018. And they're just like, the teachers are obsessed with this stuff. And they got her in to talk to us one time, supposedly about how to get by in the artist world. And she didn't tell us anything. She just showed us her work yet again and bragged about how she failed heaps of stuff in high school. And I'm like, why are you here? We are master's level postgraduate students, and you're telling us about how you failed high school when we've already been to high school and finished it most of the time, because that's the only way you can get to uni a lot of the time and get your undergrad and then move on to postgrad. Like, most people have gone through that progression, and you're going to brag to us about how you didn't even finish high school. And it's like, okay, so why am I at a university if you don't need to finish your education to get art out there? No, you just need to know how to play the game, and it's a terrible, horrible game. You have to go to boring art gallery openings. Like, at least have a stage with some metal in it. Why can't you give that to me? Fuck, I can't. Like, even my own gallery things where I've been in a group exhibition, I've been to the openings, and it's excruciating standing around and occasionally chatting to people, and I'm just like, okay, I've been here 5 minutes, can I go now? I really prefer the music world. Like, even socializing is easier at a gig, because if you don't want to talk to someone, chances are there's a band playing, so you can just be like, yeah, I'm trying to watch the band. And then even if there's not, there's other music playing, so if you can't even hear what other people are saying anyway. I mean, there are times you sort of stand there awkwardly, but I don't mind standing awkwardly on my own because I'm waiting for the next band. I'm there for the music, not to socialize. But people are a bit weird. I had one guy one time asking to pay for my drink or something, and like, I don't drink alcohol. I might have a Coca-Cola now and then, but it's always overpriced, so I just have some water. But no, this guy, I think he thought that I was refusing his offer because I was worried he was going to put something in it. So he was like going to give me the money to buy a drink. And I'm like, I'm not that kind of chick. Just give me the water. I'll just go over here and pour it for me. You don't need to spend money on me. Cup of coffee. What are we talking about coffee for? I don't drink coffee. I only drink tea. I drink Lady Grey tea because my last name is Grey. Except with an A. So, like, I drink misspelled tea. But when I was younger, I like to think that it was about me because my ego is that size. My ego is so big, I had to split it in half. And now I've got weird issues about that and all my duality fiction. God, what's happening on Facebook? Just notifications about stuff. Okay, that's nothing important. A what? Tea. Oh, Kevin. have you just popped up? Hello and welcome, Kevin. Are you British? I like tea a lot. I'm an Aussie. But yeah, I drink a lot of tea. I have tea in the morning. I have my Lady Grey tea. Then around 2 o'clock, maybe I'll have a second Lady Grey tea. Or if I've had bonsai, I'll have it after I've had my shower when I come home. And then at nighttime, I have chamomile tea because I still want some tea, but I also feel like maybe I should be calming down for sleep. I don't know if chamomile works, but I like to believe it. Tea is life. Yes, tea is life. Both of you guys. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I don't like coffee. I don't like the smell. I don't like the taste. It's just not for me. Tea's where it's at. Maybe it's my like I'm half Japanese, and they like green tea. Sometimes I'll have green tea, or what's the other one? I don't know. But no, I tend to prefer like British style tea. But we have tea bags. We did have a teapot, but like I don't know what Dad. Maybe it's the type of tea Dad got, like Russian Caravan or something, or maybe it's just that. I don't, if you leave it too long, I guess it tastes a bit weird. Whereas with a tea bag, it's hard to go wrong. I've heard that in Britain, like maybe not today. I don't know if things are better, but like in the past, they like. Let me get my story straight. Like there'd be like some cricket game or something that everyone was watching, and then afterwards everyone in Britain would go and make a cup of tea, and so all of a sudden they'd have to ramp up electricity production to be able to handle all the people making tea. You're making tea now? Awesome. I have a boring cup today. This is my today cup. I use I try not. If I used a different cup every time I had tea, the dishwasher would fill up too quickly. So I have a cup a day. This is today's cup, a faded out Taronga Zoo Tiger cup. It's faded on both sides because I've run out of the interesting Doctor Who Dalek ones. So I've got a TARDIS cup and a Dalek Exterminate cup. I also have an easily distracted cup. This is my they're all in the wash cup. Afternoon tea crumpets and cream. Yeah, no, I don't usually eat stuff with it. In the morning, I have tea with my toast, but in the afternoon, maybe I'll find some chocolate somewhere. But I'm not that British. I'm half white. I guess my grandparents were a little bit more British influenced. I think, did my grandma live in Britain for a while? I think they met over there, but I think my grandpa lived here. I don't know. That was a long time ago. It's posh, is it? What's all this like? What do you call it? High tea? I don't understand. That became a fashion all of a sudden, and I just don't know what it. Yorkshire tea. I have Lady Grey tea. We've also got Earl Grey tea. We have like a bunch of breakfast tea. There's an Australian afternoon tea. I think the breakfast one's Irish breakfast tea, English breakfast tea. It's all twinings, whatever. Green tea. I like that we're talking about tea. Like I never know where these live streams are going to go, and here we've gone on to the topic of tea, and now I kind of want some. By the time the stream finishes, I'll probably go and get some more because it'll almost be 2 o'clock. Yeah, no. What else? Dad has like this lemon and ginger tea at night, I think. But once like at night, I make tea. I make chamomile tea for me and my brother Dave, the teacher. I've got two brothers. He's the teacher. The other one's disabled. And sometimes I make tea for Dad as well. But he's a little bit like, maybe I shouldn't let you make my tea because if he drinks it too late, he's worried he's going to pee all night. And so anytime I do make it, he's like, just put a little bit of water in there so I don't fill up the cup. It's like a really wimpy low tide cup. But one day I wasn't concentrating and I filled it up like a normal cup, and I was like, eh. And he drank it all. You don't have to drink all the tea just because I made it. And then the next day he's like, I was peeing all night and all this, and then he wouldn't. He hasn't gotten me to make him tea since. But anyway, that's my dad's problems. Ginger tea. I kind of just stick to like the things that I like. Although like with the regular kinds of tea, as long as it has milk and a little bit of sugar, I'm pretty happy. Although I can drink black tea, I'm just not. I like a little bit of sweetness and chilling it out a little bit. Green tea twine in London, to be honest, I'm not even sure it's really from London. Hey, do we really know where anything is made these days? And it's going to be interesting to see supply chains now that everyone's heaps suspicious of China, which took a while. I don't want to bring us onto the topic of Trump, but challenging China is one of the things that I think he was right to do, even if his motivations and methods I might be questioning. But I am a little bit like, how did we let China get away with so much stuff for so long? Like, is it just the money thing, or are people scared, or what's going on? I don't know. I'm clearly not a world leader, so, what's my opinion worth? Not a whole lot until voting day comes. So, yeah, and that's a while away for me. New South Wales election, Australian election, not for a while, so I don't need to worry too much. But yeah, no. I had someone calling me a leftist the other day. That was interesting because they clearly don't understand some common sayings in English. People looking the other way for money. Yeah, and there's that. And then I think, like, I hope we get some trade deals with the Aussies as we left Europe. Oh, yeah, like Brexit and stuff. I don't really know a whole lot about Brexit, but I bought my shares then. So, before COVID, the increase in share price, like, thank you, Brexit. It got up pretty high. On the other flip side, with COVID, like, destroying the share market, at least I didn't take as much of a hit as some other people. Although, because I'm relatively young, I'm in the stock market for the long term. So, like, yes, there's a dip now, but later on, things have grown, and I've set up my shares to reinvest. So, like, I'll end up with heaps more shares anyway. So even if the price went down a little bit, I'd still, hopefully profit in the end. Depending on how long I even live, though, because, like, with the way my mood is, who knows? I'm not a particularly cheerful person in that sense. But also, like, health things and, like, what even is going to happen to the world next? I don't know. No. Oh, no, that's the same comments. I was just, like, confused. What have I already read so far? Anyway, no, I didn't mean to, like, switch from tea into politics, but there's there's a thing there, isn't it? Oh, wow. Yeah. No, I'm just, my brain's been crazy. I'm really trying to, like, get my head together. And I think when I got depressed, right, once I'd been seeing a psychiatrist and we'd been trying medications, but there was a point, like, I get side effects really easily, like heaps more easily than other people. Yes, in my tea, I have a little bit of milk, a little bit of honey, one teaspoon of honey, and a tiny bit of sugar, because I feel that extra bit of sugar just brings out the honey a bit more. Neighbours still a show? I never watched Neighbours. Is Neighbours still on? I don't know. I know Home and Away is still a thing. I never watched that either, but the ads are incessant. Yeah, no, I don't watch a lot of pop culture, so I couldn't tell you a lot of things about that. But yeah, it is okay. Yeah, Cam is also from Sydney, Australia. So if you've got questions about Sydney, Australia pop culture, he watches a lot of movies and stuff. So ask him, not me. Wow. Okay. So with getting depressed, right? Trying medications, I get a lot of side effects. I mean, for fuck's sake, I react badly to Claritine and antihistamine that, we just see as this benign thing. And now there's a possibility that I react to Nasonex as well. If I'm going to control my hay fever, it seems like kids' Dimetapp is the only thing I can take. Kids' medicine, yay! But, with antidepressants, they would work for my mood a lot of the time, but give me such bad side effects that I couldn't function anyway. So what's the point? And there came a point where it was so bad, like I was getting such bad reactions that I couldn't work anymore. So, I had to quit my job and just stay home a lot. And in that period, before I started my art degree, and like when I did start my art degree, I was only doing a half load because I got course credit for other stuff, and I was a little bit too depressed to take on a full load at the time. So I spent a lot of 2016 watching YouTube, and 2016 was not a great year either because there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the world. We had Brexit, we had Trump, we had, I think there were Australian election. That must have been when Turnbull got in, and he was a massive disappointment. Turnbull was meant to be like more of a centrist candidate. Like there was some speculation, like, should he have joined the Liberals or Labour? Which side of politics is he on? But once he became Prime Minister and he's like under the thumb of the far right of the Liberal Party, he just didn't do anything. He was such a, I don't know, he was useless. Like, a lot of people had hopes that he would do stuff, but no, he's just too damn weak. So I'm not surprised that the potato tried to stab him in the back. He went fucking nuts. Every time you diagnose yourself with allergy symptoms, I learn I suffered from them too. I've learned things from you. Oh, good. Yes, I'm glad that my rambling actually helps people on occasion so that I can feel less like a narcissist because, yeah, I think I suffer from a bit of that. But, like, I'm an artist type, right? Aren't we all a bit screwed up in the head? Like, that's why we do the things we do. Anyway, no, 2016 was a weird year, and I spent a lot of time watching a whole bunch of YouTube. I was watching almost all the the American late night comedians. So like Stephen Colbert has something come out like every day. So I was watching that, and there's so many segments, and I was just like, there's a few. Who else? Sometimes Seth Meyers had that a closer look. The rest of his stuff was a bit. A closer look was sometimes interesting though, and there are a few other American comedian late night stuff that I watched, and I was just sort of drowning in it, especially American content. I was just like, America's fucking like what even? So yeah, narcissism. Don't see it. Well, I see it in me. Hay fever. Terrible. Glad it's autumn over here. Oh God. Yeah, I've got to talk to my doctor again about what I'm going to do about hay fever. I've got to find out if kids Dimetapp, if there's anything wrong with taking too much over the long term, because I don't know. Or maybe there's an alternative I can take, like, because that's like the liquid stuff, the kids' liquid stuff. Yeah, kids' medicine. I mean, like, I'm not that small. I mean, I weigh about 52 kilos now, and I think my height is about 165-ish. So, like, when you do the BMI calculations, I just fit into healthy these days, whereas before I used to be heaps underweight. But like, I'm not kid size unless we're talking about really big kids. But I don't know. Yeah, 52 kilograms. The lowest I've ever weighed was about 47, and that's when I was on an antidepressant that destroyed my appetite. So yeah, like I found it so hard to eat. I mean, I've always been a picky eater, but when I was on the antidepressant, and that I was on that for years because we didn't know that that's why I couldn't eat. We just thought this is just me being picky. But there was a point, I think, when they increased the dose because I was so depressed. I went on to, like, I was having smoothies instead of proper food. Inches, I don't fucking know. Let me look up 165 centimeters in inches. About 65 inches. I don't know how many feet, whatever that is. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I couldn't eat food very well, so I was just like drinking smoothies, like, Boost juice or whatever. I was still at work at the time, so there was this place down in Surrey Hills I used to go to get smoothies, and they had a really nice one there. And then there was just a point, I think maybe when I quit the job, oh no, must have been before that. I was on Sustagen hospital formula. Like, you can buy it from a pharmacy or something. And like, I could barely eat anything. So I was on this hospital formula. Like, it was really bad. So I was down to 47 kilos. And eventually we figured that out. And I started eating, and it was like, wow, I'm enjoying food again. I don't feel horrible when I'm eating stuff. Like, it was just almost as tall as you. um, yeah, that was such a crazy time in my life, like, not being able to eat. Because, like, I don't have body image problems. I mean, if I try, like, yeah, okay, looking at myself, I'm sure there's things I can critique. And like, I was never a huge fan of being female when I was a kid. Like, I prefer to do boyish stuff, but being female, like, look at this. It's probably a good thing I don't have huge muscles though, because I think if I was a dude, I would be a terrible dude. I would just, yeah. I don't think I'd be a nice person and all that kind of stuff. I think, yeah, it's a bit like how living in Australia, we've got good gun control laws, which means I can't go crazy and do dumb shit, right? Whereas if I was in America, I would not trust me. At least like younger me, when I was a little bit more insane. Yeah, lots of disturbing thoughts going through my head. Anyway, body image. Yeah, no, I've never intentionally tried to diet. I kind of don't give a crap. I'm just naturally small. Don't know why. Guess I got lucky on that thing, so I don't have to worry about, eating too much or whatever the fuck. I think like a few people have wondered if I had eating disorder problems, but no, the only time I legit had something like that was when I was on this medication and it destroyed my appetite. I do find, I think in warmer weather, I tend to eat a bit less, and I think I've been a little bit down lately, so I haven't been as interested in lunch, but breakfast I always eat, dinner I could eat a lot. Depending on what it is, I eat more if it's food I actually like. My appetite dies if you try and feed me something I don't like. So, like, anytime people are like, you should go vegan and eat these things, I'm like, but I would literally die. I don't like a lot of veggies. I need the meat or I will shrivel away. And also, I'm not so concerned. Like, everything we do hurts something else. This is okay, like, some of you may remember when I started my channel and like got into more of the crazy stuff, I was going to start my own cult and it was going to be called Destructionism. And the key principle of Destructionism is to create, you must first destroy, because everything we do hurts something else. It's the nature of things. Anyway, baby food sometimes, but then, oh, well, like, you got to eat what works for your conditions, right? Like, some of us just have different needs. Tiny but nice proportions, your Asian genes, I guess. Yeah, and maybe it's the half Asian thing. Maybe also some genetics, because I don't think anyone in my family is really overweight. Like, maybe a bit heavy, but not like obese or anything. And not even, I wouldn't even call any of my family fat. Yeah, so I guess just lucky on the genetics there, but also I don't eat a whole lot. My brother Dave, who's the teacher, he eats a lot, but he's ridiculously active, like so active that his blood test makes him look like a vegetarian. Like, he eats a lot of junk food and he just burns it all off, doing like gym, and he's very sporty, and yeah, like, I don't know. He just burns all the bad stuff away, and yeah, he's heaps healthy. He's a really happy dude. The only time he's like ever down is when his sports team loses, and then he's fine again afterwards. It's so funny. He's such a chill guy, and I'm the one who's overthinking all the time. It's like, it's random anyway. No, I was talking about 2016 and watching too much YouTube. And I think that's part of why I've got this habit of not being creative, is like, for a while there, apart from the stuff I made for uni, I would just be sitting like watching YouTube, absorbing all this crazy stuff coming out of America. The American, like, I thought 2016 was weird, but I think this year for America is even weirder. And I didn't think that was possible. Do you remember when we all thought George W. Bush was the like craziest president you could come across? I think he should have a career as a comedian, though, because like, I've seen clips and stuff, and some of the stuff he said, if he wasn't the president, would actually be really funny. And then even like things would, there was that one where Bush was like trying to get into somewhere, but the door was locked and he's like trying to get in, and then he just sort of stands there awkwardly with this grin. And I'm like, that's fucking hilarious comedy right there. And like, he kind of was, instead of like he kind of just went with it. I'm like, good on you. But yeah, no, George W. Bush, I was not paying attention to politics when there was a thing. I just knew that he was a little bit crazy and very different to the politicians we have in Australia. American politicians are so nuts. Ran on a bicycle for 45 minutes for 3 days. Less than 3 days, gained back in one bad food eating day. Oh my God. Wow. But like, you have to, I mean, I'm someone who's never had weight problems, so don't take my advice too seriously. But as I understand it, with any of that stuff, you have to work at it for a while. Like, you can't just do something for a short spurt and then expect you're going to keep it. Like, it's one of those long-term kind of things. I guess like sometimes I can deal with the feeling of being hungry. And like, if I'm focused on something, especially, I can just ignore that I'm hungry. If I'm not careful and if I don't eat, I can be hungry and then I go to eat something and then it's too late. Like, I've sort of passed that peak hungriness and it's kind of hard to actually eat. I don't know. My brain's clearly screwed up alongside, or like whatever the genetic things are that keep me small. Anyway, yeah, no, trying to get back to the topic, if I even remember. I think that whole thing about watching so much YouTube while I was depressed for a while. And so in between doing my art stuff, or sometimes while I was working on art stuff, I could still watch stuff on the screen. So, I just have things in the background. I think that kind of also set me up for a bit of, the current failure that I'm going through, because it's a bit of an internet addiction. I mean, like, I've always been a little bit of an internet kind of person, but I think it may have conditioned my brain in a way that it's just harder to pull back, you know? Although sometimes, like, because I've been feeling empty, I just go and sit outside for a bit and just like, This is achieving the same thing I would be achieving if I was watching YouTube." Although, to be fair, with YouTube, if I'm watching the right kind of stuff, maybe I'll learn something. Like, there are some good educational channels out there. Um, and then, like, some weird things I didn't need to know but were kind of interesting, like, Salmonella's videos. Um, oh my gosh. I'm waiting to see if the YouTube community gets into a big huff about how they're going to demonetize inactive channels or something. Like, I haven't checked if there's a clarification of that change, but Salmonella's channel hardly ever posts anything. Like, it was really active about 4 years ago, and then not a lot of anything. So someone like him would have to post something every 6 months if the interpretation is accurate. I'm just waiting to see if people are going to complain, because the YouTube community loves complaining about every little change. And I guess if you're making money from this, it does hurt if YouTube policies mess you up. But on the other hand, why would you even trust YouTube at this point? You've got to diversify across different platforms just to make sure you still have something set up if things go to shit, so people know where to find you. If YouTube blew up today, how are you going to find the creators that you like? And interestingly for me, like, I've been on YouTube about 10 years. I don't have a huge following, but there are some of you guys who support me everywhere. And so you know where to find me. If YouTube disappeared today, we could shift to Facebook or something and just keep going with this random stuff. I've been practicing more of my martial arts in the house, refining weapons techniques. It's a fun way to pass time during pandemic days. I didn't get to do a whole lot of weapons training, but yeah, no, it's kind of fun when you do. Just like, I don't have space to practice weapon stuff, so I haven't been practicing much of martial arts anyway, but what I do practice is just, the regular stuff. Hello, average channel. You are a puzzle to me. Because some of your comments have seemed like robot, but then it turns out you're a real person, and I can never quite figure out what you're about. I am interested in you, average channel. Let's have a conversation. Or, I don't know, you could just do your usual thing and confuse the hell out of me. I know, I'm convinced that you're human. You're very puzzling to me with some of the comments. So hello and welcome to today's crazy party. We've been going for about an hour. I don't know how much time I have left before people come home. So if I disappear all of a sudden, it's that. But hopefully, I just talked about it and now they're running around. So there may be someone home. Hello! I haven't seen you in ages either. Davian, definitely not human. I'm not sure if the dogs actually are reacting to someone coming home, or if I'm going, hello, and they think that I'm saying hello to someone who's come home. Uh-oh, someone's home, so maybe I have to go. Just give me a second. Hello. I've had lunch. Yeah, no, they're home, so maybe I have to go because he's gonna get heaps awkward. Who's trying to get in? I think the dog's trying to get in. Hang on. Dog. Oh, hello, Marley. Here's Marley. You didn't think you were gonna be grabbed coming in here, did you? Marley, he's a rescue dog we've had for 7 years. Vet thinks he's about 10 years old. He is a big sook. Now he's on my bed. Is the other dog coming? I don't know. I think they're still doing stuff, so we'll see if we can keep streaming. Maybe they'll watch TV, or I don't know. Guys. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, no, we didn't name Marley. He's a rescue dog, so he already had that name. But so we don't know what happened to him, but he was kind of starved when we got him, and we had to build him up so that he could have 2 meals a day. Because when we tried to feed him one, he just threw up after one big meal because his stomach couldn't handle it. So we started him on 3 meals a day, small meals, and ever since he's been on 2 meals once we got him started, and he's a happy boy now. He used to flinch if you move too quickly, um, but now he's heaps relaxed, and he's a real sweetie. He loves hugs, and he's here. I don't know why he didn't come in before, but I guess he just wants to hang out and have a snooze. Um, I can hear my mom and dad talking. Actually, no, I had to set up the thing for Mikey, so I've got to talk to mum about that in a bit. But no, does anyone have any last minute stuff? I don't know if they're gonna watch something, so just he only cares for the bed now. Yeah. Although there are noises in the kitchen, and there he goes. Hang on. You want to go out? Okay. Oh dear, oh dear. I really thought they'd be gone for longer. What did I miss? Pup is hyperactive, always jumps around, runs like crazy dogs. I think I just heard the little one. Oh my god, this is so... Opie? No. Yeah, no, sorry. Just sort of listening to what's going on out there. It's really awkward. I don't like, video stuff when people are around. It just makes me feel like, Anyway, no, I've sort of, hang on, no, I promised I'd read out, or I said I was going to read out Cam's list of things to talk about. Uh-oh. Someone's walking down the hallway, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. And they're going upstairs. Okay. I'm sitting at the same desk as you. Yeah, it's some IKEA thing. You're like that too. Feels like you speak by yourself in your room. I don't know, it's just weird. Like, if I was on the phone to someone, I would be okay with people being around, although I do tend to go to a different room. It's just, like, easier to concentrate and all that. But with the video and all that, I don't know. Freddie. Yeah, maybe that's the one that it is. I don't know. I've had it for ages. I think I got this desk maybe in 2013 when I was studying audio for a bit, because I wanted to set up an audio desk with my my monitors and my M-Box and all that kind of stuff. And so I've got my wooden desk, which is now covered in all kinds of stuff. I need to figure out how to organize this, because it's just like, it's chaos. And like, I've got this as well with arty things on it, and I don't know, if I'm not going to be doing a lot of art stuff, I don't need this all to be here. So I could put it up in the storage space upstairs, or I don't know. Anyway, what was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, no, before I started the live stream, I wasn't sure. So I was asking Cam what I should live stream about. And so here's the list. Poetry, shitty NPCs, the fact that you have the house to yourself, crappy 21st century technology. Should I say that next one? Do you care if I attribute that to you? I might skip that one. Existential angst, the state of the world, 2020, bioethics, Asian mums, potential music projects, art, heaps of options, videos on my mixed cultural heritage background are pretty popular. Yeah, no, that's a lot of videos. Like, I could do a video about every single one probably. Anyway, yeah. God, I think they're distracted and they're doing other stuff, so maybe we can live stream a little bit longer. Please don't bring that kind of stuff into it. I don't need that. Yeah, no. Let me just have another look out the door, and then maybe we can keep going without feeling awkward. Hello, you're coming back in. Oh, I didn't know you were there. Opie, come here. I'm talking on the internet. I want to show you to the internet. Are you going upstairs? Oh, goody, because then I can keep going. Here is the other dog! Music project, so probably watching. Here's Hopi, and it's cold, so I put this jumper on him last night, and he wants to go and hang out with Mum, but you trying to escape, huh? That's the problem with being a little dog, is I can hold you here against your will. All right, off you go. And I think they've come downstairs again, so. Oh, hello, you're back. Hello. Anyway. Oh my God, they're all over the place. Yes, dogs. See, that's the thing. You make comments like dogs, and then I wonder if you're some kind of AI analyzing the video and like coming up with stuff. That's why I'm like, maybe he is a robot. Upsides of having a completely fucked sleep schedule was actually able to catch the live stream. Hi from Finland. Hello, I don't recognize your name. Welcome to Crazy Party. I'm trying to work out if I keep live streaming because my parents are walking around and it feels awkward, but bed? Yes, he likes the bed. Average channel. I mean, you could be some advanced AI, but that was one of the topics I was talking to Cam about, is like how disappointing AI technology is. Like, you know, the late 90s, we had Aibo and stuff, and they're still kind of shit today. Never commented on anything, just watch. Been around since I'm Alive cover from... Oh, the original I'm Alive cover? Wow, that's a long time. So you've seen a lot of my crazy stuff. Hey, have a look at this somewhat related brand name product that we have deduced you may be interested in based on what you have been speaking about. Well, aren't there people who have those little Amazon gadgets and they like listen to what people are talking about, and then all of a sudden they see like ads on Facebook or I don't know where. Facebook and Google ads. Yeah, but Facebook keep showing me ads about crap that I'm not interested in, and YouTube thinks that I don't have ad personalization on, so it keeps showing me that ad about men's underwear and powdering your balls or something, and I'm like, I don't know if anyone actually does that, but being a female, I don't need to see this, and there's no way for me to tell YouTube not to show me those ads. So what do? I have to keep watching that. And then there's that ad for share trading. I don't trade in shares. I just have some that I'm going to sit on forever. I don't plan on buying anything new, especially after all the money I've spent on Hope with his medical condition. Like, yes, those are the ads that I've been seeing. I don't know. I'm sure Google knows that I'm a chick. There was a period of time where they thought I was a dude, but I'm pretty sure by now they have enough data to know that I'm a chick. Facebook does have access to your microphone. There has been discussion on whether or not they use it to listen to keywords. Some guy also does basic training. Oh my God. I'm not too worried about, like, I don't think they're actually accessing my microphone that much. I think a lot of the ads I get are based on searches I do across the internet, which is pretty easy to follow me. So then, like, if I'm looking up appliances for my parents, suddenly I get all these appliance ads. I'm not the one they need to advertise to. But with YouTube, because they refuse to accept that setting that I've put, like I've said, yes, please personalize my ads so that I don't have to see stuff about powdering people's balls, right? But when I go back to YouTube, it says, you've got this setting turned off. And so they just keep showing me this crap. And I'm like, why? So like if you're an advertiser on YouTube, can you please tell them to turn personalization back on for me? I don't know what I've done wrong, but your ads are going to the wrong person. I'm not going to buy your men's underwear. Thank you. Stuff of nightmares, powder balls, browsing habits, and tracking cookies are the main thing affecting ads. Yeah. I'm not paranoid enough to think they're listening to everything I'm saying. Then on this computer, like I've got this little gadget doing my audio, so if I turn it off, I don't think it's doing anything anymore. And then what? Phone. My phone's so old. I've got like almost everything turned off except when I need it. So yeah. What is I don't know. It's just there are some of those advertisers are so aggressive too. Like I see the same ads all the time, and they're like different ads, but all for the same person, and they just keep showing them to me, even though I'm never going to buy their products. It's like, what? There's a Manscaped ads on YouTube everywhere for some reason. You have good taste in headphones. Do you have a DAC? What do you mean by DAC? Maybe I call it something different. But yeah, no, I've got these. So they're mixing headphones, but one thing I really like is these pads are really soft. So I prefer to keep my glasses on, and it doesn't hurt my head like some of the other ones I've tried. Like it sort of nicely goes around my glasses. If I wore them too long, it would feel a bit shit after a while. But yeah, no, they're really good for the way I like to use stuff. Of course, for recording, ideally you'd want closed headphones. Those are open headphones. But I make do. It's not a big deal. I'm not recording in a proper studio anyway, so who cares if things are a little bit off compared to what's technically correct. Half the time, once the vocals are mixed in with a track, you can't tell anyway. Those headphones, nice and coming. Thing you put between your headphone and computer. Oh, well, like I've got. If I plug it into my PC, it's just going into this little Logitech thing. Nothing special going on. But if I put them into my M-Box, like I go through the M-Box into my MacBook Pro when I'm doing proper audio stuff. Keep seeing the Patrick Stewart ad. I have not seen that one. Drive me crazy. Before that was the Slap Chop. Now it's the face exerciser thing. Is that the thing like they're chewing on, and like it's a bunch of dudes just chewing on this thing, and they're like, I didn't know until I saw the results kind of thing, and you're just like, what even is it? But the other two I haven't been getting. It might be because it at least knows I'm in Australia, I hope. The mouth thing, I don't understand what that is. Just wonder, since those headphones like to have an amp, at least to sound the best. I haven't noticed anything really. It seems fine to me. I have not gotten ads for that average channel. Dear oh dear. You know what I assume the Logitech thing is? Yeah, no, it's this, like, so it goes from, I think, the computer, and then there's the speakers and the subwoofer, and it's got like the on-off button, the volume thing, and then like a little thing for your headphones. So I don't know, a face exerciser. No, it's just like, it's like this little rubber thing, and apparently you just chew on it. And I haven't watched the rest of the ad, but I think they're trying to change their jaw shape or something to look more manly maybe. And I'm just like, I think there's only so much you can really do, and at some point you go to plastic surgery if you're that desperate that you have to have a face in a particular shape. I guess if you have one of those psychological conditions, maybe that would help you, but if you're just an average person who's a little bit insecure about this tiny thing and yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Face exercise, I don't know what it's called. I Spy Chupa Chups. Oh no, that's, these are little plastic. Oh, come on, can you see it? Can you focus on them? They're just like little charm things I made out of, you know, that it's like clay, you put it in the oven and then it comes out plastic. So I made some little lizards in Ace colors, but then I got the shits with the Ace community, so I haven't done anything more with them. They're kind of cute. It's hard to show on this camera because it won't focus properly. And then there's like some experiments, glow in the dark stuff. There's a whole bunch. So like I go through, well, right now feeling empty, not so much, but through life I've sort of gone through phases of having little uh short-lived obsessions, or like the Grey Family ant farm kind of concept, where I just sort of latch onto an idea, buy the stuff I need to do it, do the thing, get bored with it, and then I've still got heaps of Fimo hanging around. God knows if it's still viable or if it's all dried out and you know unable to be used. But yeah, this is one of the hobbies that I picked up and just let go again. There's some donut things in there, little mini donuts I made. Where am I up to on the comments? Worst out of all is the old lady that makes the monkey sounds. I haven't seen that one. Disappointed. I wanted Chupa Chups. Say what? Have those two. Chupa Chups. ASMR. Oh my god. Mikey's gotten into the McDonald's crunching ASMR, like where people are just eating and it's horrible. He plays it so loud. I can't even. I usually order stuff from China on eBay and it takes so long to get here. I've already lost interest by the time it gets here. Oh my god. Maybe things come here faster from China because we're so much closer in Australia. Gaia ad. I don't know Gaia. I've got a friend who types really badly on the phone, and so she's constantly sending me typos. It's actually quite hilarious sometimes. ASMR gives me the bad kinds of tingles. I cringe internally, have to close the tab. Yeah, it's so weird, and I don't understand why there's so much. Why is it so popular? I ordered a coat and it says by 26 November. Is that a COVID thing, or is that always how long it takes? Because I know there's been delays with COVID. McDonald's ASMR is fucking horrendous. How did he even find it? I don't know. I don't know how Mikey navigates YouTube, or maybe one of his carers was trying to find McDonald's for him and accidentally got him on that path. I don't know. Anyway, no, there's some disturbing things on the internet, and some of them are YouTube ads, like the jaw thing. What the hell? And the powdered balls. I don't know. Gene scratching. Gene scratching? I don't know what that means. Could be COVID puts into that. Yeah, because like my webcam took a few months to get in. Although webcams, because everyone's doing video conferencing, of course, that would take forever to get in. Shame about the sound, but at least I have backup stuff from being an audio nerd. Like this microphone's better, but I can't be bothered to hook that up. Too much of a hassle. Do you happen to know any good Australian metal bands you could recommend? Oh, I'm so disconnected from the metal scene at the moment. Scratching the den with fingernails, gene scratching. Oh. I don't understand why that excites anyone. Let me just check. I just heard a noise, but I'll be back. Oh. I think they've figured out that I'm doing a thing, and so like they've closed all the other doors and now I can't hear them so easily. So yay, I think we're good for a bit, as long as they don't start watching me, because that'll be really weird. Anyway, well, where am I up to with comments? So I was up to good Australian metal bands you can recommend. Yeah, I'm a bit disconnected from the scene, and because I've been going through like a whole lot of emptiness, I've actually like not been following so much music, because it makes me it makes me feel kind of crap looking at it. I think like part of the emptiness, I can't even listen to a lot of new music. The other problem is a lot of the metal bands that I liked have folded. A lot of them were active the same time as Rainbow Death Ray, and now they're gone. Although you could check out AD Destroyer. That's my collab. If you just do like as one word AD Destroyer .bandcamp.com, or if you look like app a.d.destroyer on Spotify, that's us. That's me on vocals. As for like other metal bands in Australia, like there's a few, but I've got to check who's even active, because with COVID, like it's like what's even going on. So yeah, nothing on the top of my head really stands out at the moment, because I'm just so out of the loop and haven't been thinking about it for a while, and who's active, I don't know. Yeah, the denim scratching jeans with fingernails, I don't get that. I've been order exercise equipment, and sometimes it takes a while coming from China. Yeah, usually Chinese shipping to Australia is not too slow, although we've got a lot of trade tensions at the moment, so God knows. People have weird taste. Yes, they certainly do. Do you have any updates on Halloween for this year? Oh, Pat Potato, you're new. Welcome to the Nut House. Halloween for this year. So I did an audition. And there's a lot of COVID safe things going on, and a few things have been redesigned. There will be a few things that are different. I think if you want to go to Halloween Sydney this year, you might want to buy tickets early because they're only gonna. I think they're only letting like half as many people in for COVID whatevers. And I don't know, if you have a specific question, I can try my best, but I only know what they told us at the audition. So I don't know if I'm in yet. So, so yeah, but yeah, there's also some stuff that I'm a bit like, maybe they want these things to be a surprise, so I don't want to give away too much. But yeah, no, it's going ahead, and we'll see what happens. I've been loving a band called Caligula's Horse. They're a prog band from Brisbane. I'm not hugely into prog. Like, it depends a bit on what they mean by prog. Some of it's good, but a lot of it is not quite what I'm looking for. So I don't really know that band. And prog's not really my genre. Depending. Bella. Oh well, you know, some other people have. Yeah, no, I can see. No, there's some other people can give you recommendations. Yeah. I listened to your collab album on Bandcamp. It was really good. Thank you. Oh my God. We've been working on that for ages, and it took so long to come out. Have sort of considered doing videos and stuff, but it's just so hard to do anything. And that's a very casual project. We don't do a whole lot a lot of the time. So yeah, I don't know. Doing videos for that was one of the reasons I was thinking of getting Cyberlux, but then having all this mood stuff going on, it's just been really hard to concentrate, so I haven't gotten around to that. So there's some more band recommendations. They're not ones I really know either. Who do I follow that's still active? Fuck, I don't know. I've been so out of the loop. Have you seen the video Biden Come On Man remix? No, I haven't. Do I want to? Building are great as a Neoviscarus advanced AI activate. Oh, now you're just trying to mess with me. Hey, are you a Walking Dead fan? No. Interestingly, I'm not a huge fan of zombies, but I've played, like, I used to do Zombie Walk ages ago. I don't know if Zombie Walk's still a thing. They had a change of organizer, and the last one I did was really badly organized, so I didn't go again. Yeah, I guess I don't mind playing the role of a zombie, but I'm not a huge fan of like watching zombie fiction. Although I have seen a few things like the one that Will Smith was in, I Am Legend. I guess they're kind of like zombies. And then I think, was it World War Z or a different one? I don't even remember. I'm a bit vague about my zombie movies. It's hilarious. Do you keep up with American politics? Like I kept up more with American politics in 2016, 17, but I'm so tired. Like, American politics America itself is so weird and confusing, and I don't understand how they get anything done. Like, I know maybe 50 to 70 years ago there was a lot going on, but modern America, like today's America, what even is happening? Like asbestos is still legal in America. Finding that out was like, why? Clearly, like, the hyper capitalism, like, a lot of the time when I see Aussies complaining about capitalism, I think they're confused, and what they're actually against is American hyper capitalism, because Aussie capitalism has its flaws, but it's nowhere near as bad as some of the weird shit that goes on in America, like the is it fentanyl, or I don't know, the opioid crisis, right? That wouldn't really happen here because we seem to be a bit stricter about how medications can be approved and all that kind of stuff. Whereas in America, drugs cost a lot, for one thing, but also, like, you know, medical drugs, but they're also allowed to advertise prescription medication on TV. And you can just go to your doctor and demand stuff based on like you can advertise antidepressants on TV in America. When I visited America in, was it 2006 maybe? I don't know. Just like watching the ads on American TV, I'm like, how can you even advertise this stuff? What a strange country. Of course America had an opioid crisis because they let them get away with so much stuff. When people complain about big pharma, pretty sure they're complaining about America because I don't get America. It's fucking nuts. 28 days later. Did I watch that? I don't know. Otherwise, zombie flicks are a bit weird. It depends, I guess, on like how they're approaching it. Never come to America. Well, I've already been there, done that, and there was like we I went to LA and then we got a bus to Las Vegas. And while I was on the bus ride, there was a lady, I think in front of us, and she was on the phone to someone, and she was so upset because the person she wanted to win Dancing with the Stars got eliminated or something, and like she was practically having a breakdown over this. And I'm just like, it's just a reality show. Like, get over it. I don't understand. And then like they had Deal or No Deal in Australia. You know, Deal or No Deal. People are kind of chill. They're like, gee, is this a good decision or not? I don't know. Deal or no deal. In America, it's like deal, and like they just get into it so much. And the American culture, like it's enthusiastic, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on. Like there's good stuff that comes out of America, but there's a fuckload of crazy stuff too. It's a weird country. America is turbo black and white with everything. It's frustrating. Even there's a lot of extremes in America, I've noticed. I think Australia is much more balanced. Like we have our nut jobs, but they tend not to influence very much. So yeah, it's a very like, I know a lot of people think that like Britain or like the UK, Australia, America, Canada, a lot of people think or assume that they're going to be kind of the same because it's all like tied back to Britain, but there's a lot of cultural difference. It's just like, and once again, I've erased New Zealand, but who cares? It's New Zealand, right? Ironic, everybody hates America but wants to live here. I don't want to live in America. But yeah, no, it is a bit weird that there's a lot of criticism of America, and yet there are a lot of people who do want to go there, and it's like, okay, I guess if you like, I mean, the other thing about America is there's different parts of America that are all a little bit different. So, you know, like LA is going to be heaps different to some of those other smaller states and whatever. So I guess it depends where you move in America, what your experience is going to be like. But overall, the culture that I see as someone in Australia, like other side of the world, or the Pacific Ocean. Is it the Pacific Ocean? Is my geography that good? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the Pacific. Anyway, yeah, no. What I see from here is crazy, and I don't get it. As someone living outside America, it's hard for me to know what's really going on there because we only see like what's filtered through the media, through the internet, and whatever I can be bothered to research myself. Whoever I talk to myself, like, you know, there's only so much that I, as someone disconnected in Australia, is ever going to know about America. But yeah, most of what I see from America is very strange. Anyway, where am I up to? Oh, it's still used for insulation, high temp pipe sleeving. Yeah, the asbestos thing, like, I don't know. It's a weird thing to me because it's kind of a big deal here if you find asbestos still. Ask your doctor if a drug is right for you. Yeah. The doctors get kickbacks for prescribing them. Yeah, I've heard things like that. I don't know much about American, you know, how all that works. But it does sound pretty dodgy. Average channel message retracted. Ooh, what did you say that you don't want me to see? Did anyone see what average channel was talking about? I could never trust a healthcare made to profit off you. Why wouldn't they just leave some issues hidden to get you to come back? America is great for people with enough money to live on the good side. Yeah, no, the American health system is very strange to me. I mean, we have Medicare. And so like we have a public-private sort of thing. So there's the public system, and it's actually pretty decent, but for certain things it can take a while. Like you can be on waiting lists for a while. So the private system, if you have the money, you can skip a lot of the queues and go to a private hospital. I pay for private health insurance at the moment, but with the economy and like a lot of people have withdrawn from the private system, so the private system's looking very shaky, and I just don't know how long that's going to go for. I mean, I'm lucky with my situation. Like, even though I don't work a lot, I'm very comfortable with my parents supporting me. I've had JobKeeper, which is ending now for me, so I'm gonna have to get a little bit tighter with what I spend on. But yeah, no, public-private system, it kind of works. I mean, the idea of the private system is to take pressure off the public system, but it'd be interesting to see how things go forward now that, they've got less money to work with. Um, yeah, and then when they thought Australia was gonna have a bad case of COVID, they were trying to, sort of get the private system involved in the public response, but we ended up not really needing it, at least not in Sydney. Um, Anyway, well, that's its own topic. Hey, I'm so behind on comments. It's hard for Americans to understand the world if they haven't left the country as much as it's hard for other that haven't been to the US to understand it. Yeah, one thing I notice, I think Americans tend to be more focused on America, whereas a lot of us outside America, um, I probably know more about America than most Americans know about Australia or other countries. I don't know. But then again, I'm a bit of a nerd, so am I a good comparison? I don't know. I just feel like Americans think mainly about America, whereas other countries are a bit more thinking about the rest of the world. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, it's still hard for me to know what it's like inside America because America's its own world. Like, there's a show on the ABC called Planet America because it might as well be another planet. Nice. I don't. Nice glasses. They're. He's an AI. He's pretending to be an AI. That's a fan on the floor. Oh, the Dyson fan. Yeah, it's pretty good. I use it mainly for heating because now I've got air conditioning. In the summer, it's not really enough to like. It can get quite loud if you're trying to cool yourself. If it's on you directly, it's okay, but it doesn't. It's not like aircon. It just blows air over you. But in winter, like, it's so much better than those old oil heaters that take forever to heat up and then like it take forever to heat up the room. This one you can just blast the heat at you and you feel warm, and then yeah, no. So it's a good little gadget. America is overpopulated. That's why free healthcare isn't a thing there. Overpopulation is its own topic. And also, I don't know very much the geography of America. Like, Australia is about the same size as America, but we've got a lot of desert, and so not many people live there. It's mostly traditional people who live there. Um, I assume America has more habitable land, but America, like in terms of land mass, there are other countries that have a higher density of people, and they get by fine without being crazy like America. Like, Japan has a huge density of people. They managed to get by. So losing Canada and ruining the economy. What's in Canada? Free healthcare. We're doing fine with it in Australia. I don't know what problems Canada might be having. Although I've heard some strange things about Canada's culture in general, but I don't know a lot about Canada, so I won't comment. Healthcare, that's government controlled, isn't as great as people want to think. Free healthcare doctors, especially nurses, that don't get to pay and then usually have no bedside manners. I don't know what it's like for you guys. I'm like my youngest brother, he's got disabilities, and I think the private sector just doesn't have the expertise, I guess. Like, they don't the private sector doesn't specialize in helping someone like my brother. So a lot of the time he will go to a public hospital, including for dental and stuff. Just because the public system, I mean, I don't understand. I'd have to talk to my parents about the exact reason, but he does go to the public system for a lot of that kind of stuff. And it works fine for us. So I don't know, you guys might have different experiences in different countries, but it's not too bad here. There are issues occasionally, but as far as things go, it's pretty good, I think. But hey, what do I know? You don't know that I'm pretending. It's funny that it gets loud because the reason those got advertised here is because they're quieter. What's loud? I'm confused. I've missed where we're up to. They say humans might be cyborgs in 50 years and become virtually immortal. No, oh my god, I would have to do a whole video. I was talking to Cam about that. Like mind uploading. I could go on. I could do a whole video about that, but I think I need a bit more awake. Which doctor is going to care more about the patient? The one living on government payroll or the one making money because he's part of his own practice? I don't think that's how it works. At least not here. Like the public system doctors still get paid a lot, and then with private system, like they're constantly trying to cost cut in the private system. So, oh my god, I used to see an independent optometrist and also an independent dentist, right? And those guys charge huge amounts of money. But now that I'm more in control of like the things that I do, right? I go and see, I go to Specsavers or one of those kinds of places to get glasses. And for dental, I go to like one of those Bupa places, and it's so cheap. Like to claim in the private system from an independent optometrist or a dentist, you can only claim like a couple hundred, and it costs heaps more than that. But if you go to one of these ones that are affiliated with the private health whoever, you can get almost the whole thing for free and just pay like for these glasses I paid like $70, whereas when I was younger and we were going to the independent one, it was like 700. I don't fucking know how. So I think like in the private health system, they are trying to cost cut, and I don't know how much those people get paid, but I don't think it's as simple as public versus private. I mean, obviously they want you to come to their organizations, but these people aren't working for themselves. They're working for the overarching organization. So I don't know how much they get paid, but I think you guys might have a weird idea of what's going on there. Oh no, what? Cam, message retracted. Oh, were you going to upset me or something? I just missed it. I almost got up to it and then you've taken it away. Your videos on antihistamines are very interesting. Oh, thank you whoever just did Rainbow Death Ray. My messages got blocked by the notification. Who's buying stuff for Rainbow Death Ray? Corgi Analog. Ooh, thank you whoever, like if that's someone watching right now, thank you for buying Rainbow Death Ray's stuff. That's exciting. Buying the digital album. That was you. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, Rainbow Death Ray was my girl band, and I still want to record the rest of our songs, but I just don't have the energy. Like there's so much to organize because I don't know where all the others are, so I'd have to do most of it myself, or I don't know. I've still got the files, but yeah. One day maybe I'll get around to it, but we'll see. Antihistamines, very interesting. Someone who's eaten them all through school into adulthood and now deals with serotonin and dopamine levels issues. Yeah, the antihistamines, I was surprised to see that. Someone commented on my histamine video. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but yeah, no, it's a neurotransmitter and we just act like it's nothing. And like we talk about the high rates of mental illness, and I'm just like, for some people that might be a factor. Why don't we talk about it more? The AI already said in the future machines might inadvertently cause the extinction of the human race. It's actually trying to console but rationalize afterwards. Huh? Where? Do you have any moderators? No, I don't. God, I'm not a big channel. Like I know it says I have 1.6k subscribers or something, but I think most people don't really watch. I'm a little bit suspicious about how many of the people subscribing to me are real and how many are like bots or whatever trying to hide their activity. But YouTube doesn't remove them, so maybe they're real. A lot of them are also left over from when I used to YouTube a lot, so I don't know who is still around or if they're inactive accounts. And then because my channel is so chaotic, like I've got music videos, I've got fashion videos, I've got tech videos, I've got ramble vlogs and live streams. I think there are a lot of people who subscribe hoping I'll make the content that they want to watch, and then I just don't. So yeah, I'm really a small channel. Like the people watching right now could be the bulk of my audience. I don't know. There's 11 of you currently online. I don't know how many people watch me regularly. A lot of my videos get like 30 to 40 views fairly quickly, but the watch time isn't huge. So I think people click on them and they're like, oh, I came to the wrong place, and they bugger off. So the number of you actually watching, I don't know. So it doesn't make sense for me to have moderators. I dig how experimental the sound is. I like music that sounds different from what I normally. Yeah, Rainbow Death Ray was fun. I mean, like it didn't turn out the way I really wanted it to. I wanted to be in something more aggressive, but I was playing with like some novel ideas, like having the violin in there, and it was sort of meant to be metal, but then we couldn't find a drummer, so that's part of the reason behind the more industrial electronic sound. And then we had the guitar player, and that brings in that sort of 80s synth kind of vibe, and it's just like, well, we will do whatever we want to do then, and had a lot of fun with it. I was in a very different headspace. I don't think I could do Rainbow Death Ray now because I'm too gloomy again and more interested in aggressive music than, we did very energetic stuff. Like the lyrics are kind of gloomy, but the energy was very like kind of thing. Oh my god, there's so many comments. How do I keep up? NSS or Google, can't remember which, says they build 2 supercomputer and they start speaking with each other in their own weird language. They got so scared they pulled the plug. No, I'm pretty pessimistic about AI because generally with AIs, they tend to only do a certain number of tasks, at least as I understand. I haven't looked in a while, but they tend to do a certain number of tasks really well and they suck at everything else. They haven't figured out how to get a more human-like AI coming along. Like, in terms of their intelligence level, I think you're lucky to get like a dog's level of intelligence if you're trying to do more of a general intelligence instead of a specialized task AI. No, the whole thing about mind uploading and like whether we'd become cyborgs, it's a huge topic. And if I go into it now, I'm not going to get to all these other comments. So maybe if I'm in the mood, hang on, I'll write that down as another idea. I've got so many ideas I haven't got around to, but AI mind uploading cyborg things. If I'm in the mood one day, maybe I'll make a video about it. But you guys know me, I'm very easily distracted, so fuck knows when that'll happen. Anyway, I still have that CD I got off you at the Agincourt somewhere. You're a person I know in real life. I think I know who you are. I'm pretty sure humanity have a plan for that. What are we referring to? The AI thing. I'm just not going to panic about AI anytime soon. I think we're more likely to kill ourselves than have AI kill us at this point. It's interesting how fast an AI is learning. There are a lot of real people that just sub and then don't bother keeping up. Most are like that. Yes, I find that weird. If I lose interest in a channel, I just unsubscribe. But that's me. I also don't turn on notifications. I sort of manually check who's got new stuff. Yeah, but maybe like I am an odd person, so I guess it's possible I use YouTube completely differently to everyone else out there. I don't know. I agree. What are we agreeing to? Well, yay for agreeing. Did you know the American government has a plan for the zombie apocalypse? I mean, why not? Like, I know it sounds frivolous, but I mean, even if zombies themselves aren't likely, some aspects of a plan to do with zombies, I can imagine, might be useful for other things. Like, you don't necessarily need to have zombies, but some of the planning aspects may be relevant if some other disaster happens. So I don't think it's that weird that the American government would have a zombie apocalypse, and maybe it's a humor thing to call it zombies. But on the other hand, like, we don't know, maybe something zombie-like is possible. I subbed a long time ago for a video watch and then took a long time to come back and watch some other stuff. Well, I also took a huge break off YouTube. So thank you everyone for sticking around and coming back. Like, because yeah, I was so surprised that so many people were sort of waiting for me to come back, or, surprised that I came back and then have come back to watch me. It's an interesting thing, YouTube, like that. You're pretending to be a CCP bot now, are you, average channel? Oh my god. I got some more anti-Chinese propaganda. The Epoch Times. I've got another one. I haven't even finished reading it. They sent this back at the start of the pandemic, and then I got another one the other day, and I just grabbed it and I was like, ooh, propaganda. I can put this in my collection with Scientology stuff. Because there was this while I was at art school, there was this random little exhibition about how psychiatry is evil, and I thought, oh, I bet that's Scientology. I've got to go in there, and I took like every pamphlet, and I still have them somewhere. I don't know. I like weird things like that. Also, with the the anti-CCP stuff, it's interesting to see the perspective of propaganda, and I like that it's so obvious what their position is, because then you know what parts to take with a grain of salt. Whereas I think with more balanced media, sometimes it's hard to know what the author's bias is. Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird to enjoy that kind of stuff. Like, I enjoy reading stuff from the far ends of politics where, like, you get the crazy stuff, whether it's far left or far right. There is some fun shit. And then things like Scientology, the interesting beliefs that people have. Anyway, older AI, new one is more advanced. They're always advancing, right? The thing for me is that AI hasn't advanced as fast as I want it to, right? And like technology in general, like, you know, with Aibo in the late 90s, 2-hour battery life. Today, still a 2-hour battery life. And like you could run an Aibo on these tiny little sticks with only a few megabytes of data, or maybe it was kilobytes of data. I don't know how far back that was. And today, I don't see Aibo doing much more advanced, except they have better cameras and Wi-Fi. I want my robot dog to be a bit better than that. That's just me, though. Yes, I am. Yes, you are a real person, and I think I know who you are. AI like Brainiac or Ultron. I don't know those things. I think one of them is like a Marvel reference, maybe. I'm not hip with the superhero movies. You should watch I, Robot with Will Smith. This I, Robot with Will Smith, and also The Book, which I got in high school. The prize for excellence in computing studies in year 10. And I've just revealed that I'm super old. In computer studies, like, they also gave me a book, like with what my school did, like private girls' school, whatever. They do presentations at the end of the year. If you got the top mark in a subject, you get a book, or occasionally something different. I've got some other prizes somewhere. But the one they also gave me alongside this was like a dictionary of computing terms. Very boring. And I think that's all I was going to get. But my teacher liked me, and I think she might have gone out and gotten this as an extra thing, you know, because she knew I was really into robots. Like, we only did Lego robots in that unit, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. But I already had my my Cybot, I think I brought in as a demonstration for people. And so she got me this. And because I'm that much of a nerd, I used to top classes and stuff. I've got some other ones, like there's a weird mathematics book somewhere in there. The dictionary that I got with this of like computing terms, apart from being heaps outdated, I think I left it with my ex because I didn't give a shit about it. And he was studying computing stuff, and he probably quit as well anyway. Where are we up to? iRobot, where is that? Yeah, anyway, so I was obsessed with robotics. And I could go on, like, at art school, we had to do an exhibition thing, like a group assignment to design an exhibition. And I was like, let's make it about robots. And so I did all the research for like what kinds of robots we were going to put in this exhibition. I was working with some Chinese girls. They might have been Hong Kong Chinese, though. That's the one group project that went really well. Like, they were a really good group. And they let me indulge my robots obsession, and I got to update myself on some things. Oh my God, how annoying is Now Robot? Like, oh, it's used for autistic kids. I don't give a crap. It's inferior. It looks like it's trying to be Curio, except it has nothing that Curio had. It's such a shame that Sony cancelled their robotics project. Anyway, here's me going off on tangents and missing all your comments. But can you see, like, now why I don't want to talk about AI stuff? Because you're hitting on one of my old obsessions, and old robot obsessed me comes out, and there you go. That's the end of everything. I'm subbed to like how many channels? How do you even keep up with anyone when you're subbed to that much? Like, I mean, YouTube also gives recommendations of random stuff anyway, and you're actually subscribed to 1,500. Oh my God. I bet there's some I've never watched after the first time. If they had a zombie apocalypse plan, it surprised me how bad they were at containing COVID. Hey, America is kind of dysfunctional anyway. And I'm kind of surprised how well Australia did, because we were so, like, you can tell our politicians were convinced we would be hit bad, but we weren't. So well done us. And like, they were even surprised at how well the economy is going. Like, generally Treasury or whoever, their estimates are optimistic. Because, like, from a political perspective, you want to play things up, but this time they're actually like, oh shit, we actually did better than we were thinking. And that's how you know that the government thought we were going to do really badly. Well done, Australia. Like, apparently our economies, well, our numbers are better than New Zealand. We'll see if that comes out long term. But yeah, wow. And like, the economic supports they put in, which are only just winding up, they thought they would need more, so they overestimated like crazy. I don't know what's going on in America. I think America's very divided. Also, like, you've got Trump with his ideas, and I think he was right to try and shut the borders, but of course anything Trump does, the other side will criticize him harshly for, so like, he can't win anyway. And then he's a nutcase anyway. And then you've got the individual states all doing their own thing. So like, and America has 50 states. We've only got Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia, Tasmania, and then 2 territories, well, Northern Territory, ACT. And I mean, there's like some loose islands, but they're not really part of this so much. I don't know, it's a very different situation to us. Doesn't really type World War Z or Walking Dead. Oh, I'm really behind on comments. Sorry, guys. Bought a katana recently, just in case. I honestly think that COVID is population control. Some people think it's a scam. I'm not that paranoid. I think like it's about time we had something like this happen. I think like the world has been through a huge period of peace. Like, we haven't had major wars. Like, there's been wars, but not world-affecting ones like the world wars. I mean, depending on where you live, you will have had different impacts if you're old enough. I'm certainly not. The world has had like this odd period of stability. And so it's about time something in the world went crazy. And like with pandemics, we've sort of been thinking it would happen, but people became really complacent. And like, then it does happen and everyone's like, ooh, didn't see that coming. It's about time. Like, I think these things just happen. It's about time the world went through something, because a lot of us have grown up in a period that was relatively easy. Yeah, it's not the natural state of the world. Like, the world is a lot more chaotic than most of us. I don't know if we're all the same generation, but a lot of us will have grown up in easy times, and that's not normal for the world. Like, we've had it really good. Anyway, it's just nature taking its course. Oh yeah, basically saying what I think. It's just nature taking its course. I don't believe any of the conspiracy theories around the virus. I mean, there's definitely things that people could do badly with a virus, but I wouldn't say conspiracy theories, because people fuck up. It's much easier to believe that people fuck up rather than people have planned something elaborate. Like, are people around the world that competent? I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if World War Z was not looking for... Huh? World War Z. Oh, World War Z. Is there another World War Z movie? Shows what I know. COVID is... Oh my god, now we're getting into the environmental weird stuff. I'm not a fan of Greta. I've heard that she was less extreme until the Americans got hold of her and maybe radicalized her a bit more, but it's one of those things that I think is too emotional. And also, like, with a lot of the environmental stuff, I would like more people to talk about nuclear technology. I'm not scared of nuclear technology. You can put one in my backyard if you've designed it right. I'm not going to give much of a shit. I think, yes, there probably is a bit of CO2 coming out into the world, but on the other hand, I don't think solar and wind is going to cut it. The number of solar panels and wind panels with today's technology you'd need, and then you've got to replace them every 20 to 30 years. Nuclear power plant, so much energy in such a small space, and if you look after it, can go for 100 years. Kind of think it's worth the investment, or at least worth looking at. Like, maybe we don't need nuclear, but can we please at least have the conversation? It's banned in Australia. We won't even talk about it. Can we at least talk about it? Even if we don't go for it, I just like, why is it not part of the conversation so we can compare, all these different things? Anyway, that's another. Also, I don't like bandwagons. If I see a lot of people fawning over someone like Greta, I am immediately suspicious. And like with a lot of the movements and things out there, if I see a lot of people going for something, I'm like, what's going on here? I think that's just naturally how I am. Yeah, those kinds of things. So I think people get carried away, and sometimes it's super fun to read extreme biased opinions and approach it like a puzzle, trying to piece together facts from both far ends. Yeah, it's fun. So it's not just me. Robot Dog sounds like Jimmy Neutron. Ooh, I hate the art style. If I don't like the art style of a cartoon, I don't like the cartoon. Maybe it's clever, I don't know, but I just can't look at that art style. Hello, average channel again. I can only imagine how dated any paper printed book on IT terminology would be now these days. Yes. Oh my god. Our school had outdated IT textbook back when technology is amazing. Like, yes, it's been slow, but on the other hand, a lot of things have changed. It's this weird paradox, I guess. But where's my jetpack? I think that was a line in The West Wing, because my parents used to watch that. Anyway, in the 70s, they had such high hopes for the year 2000, and it's the year 2020, and look what we are at. There are some things that are quite amazing, but overall, it's not the exciting stuff that we were hoping for, is it? Reboot average. I'm more into hardware than software. I don't think I'm that into either side of it, really. I just use what works. Although, God, I'm tired of all the people commenting on my Alienware saying, oh, you've got a blower card. That's the worst thing. I'm like, blower cards have their uses. At some point, I may make a video about how self-building a computer is kind of overrated for certain types of people. Like if you're the type of people who needs a custom computer, great. Not all of us do. Calm the fuck down. Also, why are you watching videos about Alienware if you already know you hate them? Why are you such a masochist? And like, half the people who say, oh, you got the wrong computer, don't even have a good computer themselves. And I think they're just jealous and trying to make me feel bad. And I'm like, especially when there are kids are watching my channel, and it's weird, and I don't know how to deal with it. Like young kids who are so young that their own channels have comments turned off because I think they must be under 13, or I don't know. It's weird. And then like I had this one kid telling me how bad my computer choices are, and then you look and they're like trying to fundraise for their own computer. I'm sorry, kid, that your parents won't buy you some fancy computer that you want, but that doesn't mean you take it out on other people who use their own money to buy a computer that suits them. Suits me, doesn't suit you, I don't fucking know. Why are kids watching my channel? This is not a kid-friendly channel. This is me being random. I don't know. Yes, I'm always on tangents. I'm sorry. You're very intelligent, you know that. Like, my brain works well on certain topics and not so well on other things. Like, if emotional intelligence is something, I probably don't have it. I didn't even have a lot of empathy for many years. So, but yeah, no, my brain, I learn certain things more quickly than other people. And so a lot of people have high hopes for me, but then I have mental illness. So what's the point of being smart if you're your own worst enemy? But being my own worst enemy is one of the themes in the fiction I used to write. So, above the average IQ. I've never done an IQ test. Not a real one. I've done like those online quizzes, but they don't really count, do they? I did well in school. I did well academically. I don't do well in life. So it all balances out in the end, I guess. Although with my gigantic ego, right, I have this disconnect between, like, part of me is like, yes, I am so smart, SMRT, I mean SMART. But then I've also got that, oh God, people are complimenting me, kind of like, I don't know. I'm just like a weird, my brain goes to different extremes. And I think my brain goes to a lot of extremes on everything. And maybe that's why I don't know. I'm fucking brains. What do you do with them? I'm lucky that Finland has such sparse population and high living quality that COVID didn't hit us hard. Yeah, I think Australia also, because like we have a lot of people, but we're spread out a lot, and we do have some cities that are dense, but like Sydney and Melbourne would be the main two, I think. But even so, like, I've been to Tokyo. There's a fuckload of people in there. Like the whole of Australia could fit in Greater Tokyo. That's one city. So, yeah, no, I think that's probably one of the things that's helped Australia. Also, we're an island, so it's been easier to control people coming in and out. Um, yeah, there's a lot of things about COVID in Australia. It's gonna be interesting in 5 to 10 years' time when they look back, because right now there's a lot of politics going on. Also, some of the numbers, like, different countries are measuring their cases differently, so it's hard to compare. So right now it's hard to know how COVID is actually going around the world. Whereas in 5 to 10 years, some academic will have looked at this and there'll be some consensus, and maybe we'll have a better idea of what's going on. Trump is the reflection of US. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. Like American culture and all that. Like I feel in some ways Trump's inevitable. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to politics before 2016 because 2016 is when I got that badly depressed that I finally started watching a lot of this stuff and gradually learning a bit about how weird the American system is. But from what I understand of America's past, yeah, I think it's kind of inevitable, and God knows what's going to happen this election. I don't want to watch. It's like a terrible TV show. You know, how appropriate is that? That America has turned into this horrible drama. And I think my eyes are a bit weird lately. Maybe I should mention that to my doctor. That maybe it's just because I wear underpowered glasses most of the time, except when I'm driving. I don't know. Another tangent. US tried to lock down during spring break. College kids don't give a fuck doing jelly shots. Ooh. No social distancing then. Hey, look, I think the US and also the UK have the UK is so fucked. I haven't watched Melon Baker's most recent video, but I'm expecting interesting things. The US and the UK, I think, really fucked up the messaging as well. I think Australia was much more consistent, like, you know, guys, behave. And then Aussies, like, we have this sort of banding together kind of culture when things are serious. So I think we were more inclined to follow along, especially when the politicians, like, I mean, the fucking Liberal Party, they're our conservative party. I know that's confusing to Americans. They actually gave out huge amounts of money to people. That's how you know they were taking it seriously, that they would just suddenly give out heaps of welfare. The Conservative Party gave out heaps of welfare. That's how, and we're all like, holy shit, this must be serious if they're the ones doing this. Fuck. And they've been much more consistent, I feel. Whereas in the US and the UK, like, I can't keep up. I would love to see hardcore logic argued from the environmentalists, because I know there's so much science to back it up, not just the tugging at heartstrings stuff. Yeah, I think that like environmentalism, there's a lot of extremism going on there, and it's sort of like follow the science, but also completely ignore anything about nuclear that doesn't fit your worldview. It's like, yeah. Anyway, and then there's this whole thing like, oh, today's generation are all gonna die. And I'm like, that's too extreme as well. There'll be challenges, but I don't think some of the Extinction Rebellion type stuff. Like, oh my god, the virus first developed. Oh, here we go with more conspiracy stuff. Oh, average channel is trying for some more attention. I thought the virus came from China. Yes, it, like, as far as we can tell, the virus started in Wuhan. There's no credible evidence that it came from anywhere else. Of course, we in 5 to 10 years' time, we may found out differently, like, or maybe the specifics. But also, China didn't help. Like, if it did come from America, maybe China should have let the world in to have a look and be like, oh shit, it didn't actually start here, it started somewhere else. But no, China's like, we're not going to let you do this. We're going to get very upset if you suggest an independent inquiry into the virus, blah, 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 blah. So it doesn't look good for China, I gotta say. No flying cars, but we do have the Cybertruck. Is that Elon Musk? He's another guy that I'm just like, so overrated. Like, worse than Steve Jobs. He's... like, I get it. He's prompted some cool things to happen, but I also think he's like one of these cult leader type. I don't like the cult of personality. It's a very American thing, but it's also spread globally because of the internet. I'm just not a fan of like heaps of people getting excited. Like, if heaps of people are fawning over Elon Musk, I'm going to be suspicious, right? That's just how I am. Yeah. Oh, fucking Bill Gates. Can we stop with the conspiracy stuff? Like, Bill Gates is one of the few people funding nuclear technology. I'm happy with that. Like, people, because he's rich, people will say all kinds of shit about him. I haven't really looked at any of his stuff in ages, but I have heard that he's interested in nuclear technology, and that's a plus for me. But hey, there's always some rich bad guy. But that's the thing. The world is not that controlled. I'm sorry, there is no one in charge. The world is absolute chaos. You can try and blame everything on the world on some evil figure if that makes you feel more comfortable, but there are no adults in the room. We are all in this chaos and shit is going to happen and we have no control of it. No one has control over it. So you just have to deal with that at some point. You know, there are no adults in the room. No one is in control. Get over it. There are occasionally people who come up with dumb shit, but they tend to get caught by the main processes because people are bad at keeping secrets. People are so incompetent. Like I have such a low view of humanity anyway. Self-driving cars. Yeah, that's going a bit slowly. Like it's better than I thought it would be. And like yes, there have been some self-driving cars that have crashed, but as far as I know, not the same proportions of humans who can't drive. Like, oh my god. A lot of fanboys for hardware, which is super weird. Yes, when inevitably almost everyone swears at some shit not working anyway in the end, regardless. Sooner or later. Yeah, my computer's going great, but there are a few like odd things that have happened. So you're not 10 years old. Okay. I actually own an Alienware Aurora R11 and I can't agree with you more. Oh, do you have the liquid cooling on the graphics? Because I'm curious about that. With the new, I haven't been keeping up with the new, the RTX 3080 or, the new NVIDIA cards. I haven't been keeping up, but I did hear something like the cooling system for the 3080, instead of being a traditional blower that blows it out the back and keeps it away from the rest of your hardware, they've got a second fan that does vent some into your case, which is a little bit concerning, but they seem to argue that most people paying that much for a graphics card would have liquid cooling at least on the CPU and might even have it on the graphics card, but as long as it's on the CPU, they're not worried about the heat from the graphics card destroying the rest of your hardware. I guess we'll see how that goes. I think I've also heard that some of the third-party ones have had some issues. So never get into never. Try not to get into technology when it's brand new. Let someone else be the early adopter so that they can find all the problems with new technology and they can go and fix it. So the card I have, the 2080 Ti, has been around for ages. Like I got it towards the end of the cycle. I kind of had no choice. Like of course I sort of knew that new stuff would come out. But because my old computer was dying, I had to buy something then. And if I hadn't bought something then, I wouldn't have got the R8 with its optical drive, which I really wanted the optical drive. But one of the advantages of going for the 2080 Ti, even though it might have been a little bit overpriced, is at least I know a lot of people have used it. Any issues with it will be known. So if I do have a problem, I just go on the internet and find a solution. I also have the 5 years warranty. So, hey. Anyway, tangent again. Intelligence in a woman isn't trying to meet empathy is not high on my list. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Because I don't want to get into the empathy kind of stuff, but yeah, empathy. Could have interesting things to say about that, but I won't get into it right now. Politics is just real life flame wars on online forums. Yes. Politics is a lot of children having an argument. I mean, I don't know what it's like in America, but in Australia, sometimes you can tune in to like Parliament question time. You might as well just get a bunch of kids yelling at each other across the room. It's fucking hilarious. Extremism is super toxic. It pollutes a good discussion and makes it about which side wins. Yes, exactly. Like, one of the things I don't like about opposition parties is often, instead of saying, yes, that's a good idea, they'll find a reason to shit on anything the government does. Like, the two different parties will always hate each other. I'm just like, if there's a good idea, what's wrong with supporting it? Like, yes, the government has done something right for a change. The only times they even get close is like, yes, we were calling for this before they did, and they still haven't gone far enough. That's the most agreement you can get. Why does it have to be about winning? Politics would be better if it was about, actually coming up with something good. And if the other party happens to do something good, what's wrong with acknowledging that? At least in Australia, we don't have the full-on extremism, whereas we're in like America. If Trump says something, Trump supporters will love it and the other side will hate it automatically. It doesn't matter what Trump says. could be right, could be wrong. Sometimes, like, he's okay, a broken clock is right twice a day. Sometimes Trump gets things right by accident, and the other side will still shit on him. And I'm just like, what are you gaining from that? You're just making yourselves look dumb now. Anyway, big yikes. What I mean about hardware is that I'm into electronics and engineering. Ooh, I haven't done any electronics in a while. I did some. I think it was analog electronics, putting together guitar pedals and shit. I think there's some videos of me playing with electronics from like 6 years ago, maybe. But yeah, no, I haven't done any of that for a while. Making like, well, dodgy microphones, not something like this. But anyway, when I mean, last year, a new strain type of flu was detected in Italy. People were speculating that was what we now know as COVID-19. Hey, like, there's always a possibility that it may have had an origin somewhere and then maybe traveled to China, but maybe the final mutation into COVID-19 happened within China. Like, viruses go around. It's the final mutation that turns it into the pandemic thing. Like, if it had pandemic potential, like if there was something in Italy that was like pre-COVID, if it didn't spread then I don't believe it would have had that final mutation it needed to go viral. Yeah, so as far as we know, the final change that needed to happen happened in Wuhan. We don't have any good evidence of it being elsewhere, although there's speculation. Maybe a possibility that a precursor to COVID happened somewhere else. That's the thought. So Bill Gates stated in his Netflix documentary that pandemic, that's why. If you make a prediction about something horrible happening, eventually it's probably going to happen, as long as it's not like, "Ooh, God's gonna come down," and, Revelations. But if you say a war is coming, you don't have to specify when. Chances are we're gonna go to war at some point. Same as, like, with a pandemic, although I haven't seen the documentary, so I don't know what you're referring to. But I just be careful about predictions, because there are certain types of predictions you make, and they'll eventually come true. It's like if I say that I'm going to die, I will eventually die at some point. Am I magical for making that prediction and then it happens? Not really. I'm gonna buy parts quickly between Christmas and New Year's when my old PC broke, so I got a pre-built Lenovo, and been 7 just fine, although I'm planning an upgrade. The only thing I don't like is the OEM weird off-brand motherboard that can't fit any upgrades. Ooh. Yeah, so, like, I think that Alienware at least has a bit of upgradability. I'm not sure about the new cards. I think the new cards require more power, although my computer has way more power than it needs, like, in terms of PSU power. And I think you can get, like, it comes with an adapter or something so that you can use traditional plugs to get that power into the new graphics cards. So, like, potentially I could upgrade one day, but I don't know that I want to. I think, like, I don't need it. I'm not a gamer. I just want to make videos now and then. His document came out last September. I have a liquid cool 2880. That's why I bought the R11. It's actually pretty good. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that that's worked out for you. Because yeah, the R11 didn't come out in Australia for ages after it was released anyway. So, but yeah, no, I needed a computer right now, and the R11 doesn't have an optical drive, so I would have had to choose between liquid cooled graphics and an optical drive. Since I'm not a gamer, I probably would have gone for the optical drive. I know you can get externals, but I just don't need extra cables. I'm living in chaos. Have you seen the chaos that I'm living in? I'll be getting the 3070 once the third wave ships and reviews and stuff have come out. Sensible move. Definitely wait. Make sure everyone else finds the fuck ups and then buy it. Maybe even the price might drop as well. The early adopters are the ones who spend way too much money for something that's maybe got issues. Let them figure that out. What was 3080 sale like in Australia? I don't know. I haven't kept up. I just see like little articles come up now and then, and I've only clicked on a few that seemed interesting. I haven't been keeping up because I'm not buying a computer. I don't care. It's funny how this country has 5 million people and 9 political parties in parliament and another 9 official that have no seats right now but are registered regardless. Meanwhile, USA has 2. What country are you in? 5 million people. Oh, was that like Finland? 9 political parties in parliament. Well, I think so. Do you have 9 political parties that are all fighting it, like forming coalitions or something? I don't know what your system's like. But like in Australia, we have two main parties, but we also have minor parties, and they do sometimes have crossbench influence, especially in the upper house. In America, they do have more parties than just the main two, but I think it's very hard for them to get anywhere and very hard to be independent as well. It's just the way their system's set up. And then America is like first past the post voting as well. I prefer preferential voting. I think New Zealand has proportional voting, which I'm not sure. I like preferential voting. I don't understand the New Zealand system well enough, but I think, then if your top choice doesn't get in, you haven't wasted your vote. You can still get the next person, the next person. Like, I just first past the post. I think the UK has that style of voting as well, and I guess that helps make things a disaster. I don't know. They say a lot of things, but they say the virus is still mutating. Well, of course it is. Like every generation, it's slightly different. That's how they know there are different strains of it, and they can sort of use those different strains to trace where a particular outbreak probably came from. We just got to hope that it doesn't mutate into something worse. But on the other hand, if it mutates to kill more people, that means it can't spread as easily because it kills people before it has a chance to spread. So I think this is like the balance point for something with pandemic potential. I think if you change too much about it, it wouldn't spread so much. So we might be okay. Hope I'm not fed up of this virus. I think Alienware mostly uses aftermarket parts, so they upgrade just like a self build. Yeah, I'm not sure. Dell, Alienware is part of Dell, so I imagine Dell is able to source things in bulk or potentially make their own. I don't know. But yeah, no, Alienware I think is designed to be upgradable. That's why they spruik that like toolless axis or whatever, so that you don't need to be unscrewing things all the time. It is a bit of a cramped design, like it's a medium computer, not a large computer. I don't have space for anything bigger. This was almost didn't fit in my space, with enough clearance for airflow. Just fits in. But yeah, as far as a medium computer goes, they do try and make it upgradable. So it's like the middle point between a straight pre-build that you can't change and a full-on custom thing that you have to constantly troubleshoot. Do you think iRobot should get a sequel? I don't think it would make sense to, and I'm a bit tired of sequels generally. They're good. The only thing I don't like is the price tag. Yeah, I got mine with a decent deal, though. The only reason mine cost so much is because I opted for the 5-year premium support because I'm a nutcase, and the premium support was also on sale, so I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I ended up having more money than I thought I was going to have, so I was just like, let's go all out. Yeah. You have a 2080 Ti, that's plenty good enough now. Yeah, the 2080 Ti will last me a long time. That's why I got it. I didn't get the 2080 Ti to push it hard. I got it so that it could coast through the low-grade stuff I do and last longer than if I got something that was constantly working too hard. Like with my old computer, when I finally got up to HD video editing, it was pushing it so hard that it was basically destroying itself, like the wear and tear on my old graphics card. Whereas if I get a 2080 Ti and I only do basic editing most of the time, it's chilling out. It is doing that like a breeze. Maybe one day I will need to do harder graphics, but that's for later. Like for now, it's just like coasting. It's going to be coasting for a damn long time because HD is good enough. Yes, it's capable of 4K, but how much do you really notice? The jump from like 480p, which the old computer used to do, to HD, definitely noticeable. The jump from 1080p to 4K for our eyes, for my eyes being shit, not much difference. For most other people's eyes, like 1080p, full HD is bearable. It's fine. So anyway, where am I up to? Tangent versus rambling. Oh my god. I'm terrible, hey. Finland, 5.5 million population. About the size of New Zealand then, but maybe a bit more compact. I don't know, most of Europe is a lot more compact than us down under. I wish I could get the R8 with the optical drive and all the other good stuff with the R11. Like, yes, why can't Alienware make one that has everything? But I think most people these days download their video games online, so I guess they decided it's not worth it to have an optical drive. And like, if I couldn't get the R8, I probably would have had to custom build because I really wanted the optical drive in there. I watch DVDs still. Look at my collection. I still watch DVDs. Like there's extra shelves of stuff. I want an optical drive. I don't want to be connecting some dicky little thing that's off to the side, like on a wire. I want it built in. God damn it. Finns are awesome. We have 9 parties inside Parliament, and all of them can have presidential candidates and all that. But like, how do you decide who wins? Just like which party gets the most? And then how do you form government? Because in our system, you need a majority to form government. So, you know, if someone doesn't get that, it's a hung parliament, and then whoever got the most votes, or like, you know, then the different parties have to negotiate with each other until someone has a majority. I just wonder how that would work if you didn't have a system like that. I love Kimi in F1. I don't know what that is. Are you playing any video games after that Final Fantasy? Oh, look, at some point I might get back onto the free space. I'm just not that into video games at the moment. Are you looking forward to the Hogwarts game? No, I don't like Harry Potter, and I'm not a gamer. Harry Potter, I prefer Earthsea, at least the first book of Earthsea. Like, if you want Wizard School, first book of Earthsea, it's a lot darker. I've read I didn't read the first book. I was made to go see the first movie of Harry Potter. I tried reading the first Harry Potter book, did not like it at all. Someone guilted me to go along with them to the first Harry Potter movie, and like, I can see why some people would be into it, but it's not my thing. I preferred Earthsea, but the Earthsea movies tend to be shit. Or just not, they don't really follow the book. I like the first book of Earthsea, and then the second one was pretty good. The third one, the fourth one, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Mr. Cam, thanks for the band name drops, by the way. Listen to them. Insomnium Nox is fucking awesome. Is Cam still here? I don't know. Oh shit, we've been going for 2.5 hours. America population is like 30 million, right? Yeah, it's there's a lot of people there. Not as many as some of the Asian countries, but yeah, it's like the land mass of America is similar to in size to Australia, but they've got more than 10 times as many people. I like the R8 because it looks more like a computer, if you know what I mean. Yes, the R9 onwards look like my Dyson. Alienware inspiration. There you go, guys. To be completely honest, I don't know the details. I go vote for one of the tiny ass parties with 0 chances every year just to make a point. Then I tend to vote independent, and usually they don't get in. But then my next preference get eliminated until, you know, I either pick the winner or the loser. I like, one of the nice things about preferential voting is you can make a protest vote. So like, say you support party A, but they've been annoying. Party B is their main competitor. And then there's party C who can't really get in. So you put party C as your first preference because you want to tell party A that they're shit. But you also don't want party B to get in. So you put your preference C, A, B, and then so when C is eliminated, your vote goes to party A, but you can still tell them, like, you can still kind of make a point. I don't like what you did. That's how some people do a protest vote. I tend to vote independent just because, like, the major parties, generally, for most of my voting life, I haven't been able to agree with. But, like, you know, I change my mind every year. I sort of go through what their current policies are, what their specific candidate is like. I don't necessarily vote based on party. I look at what the candidate's like as well. So it's complicated. The process I go through voting is probably more complicated than it needs to be. I just think about that stuff. So the way I vote, anyway, I'm not into Harry Potter, but the game looks fun. Well, I'm not a gamer, so I don't like the amount of logic holes in Potter. I'm in world building and D&D nerd and writer myself, so it bothers me so much when stuff doesn't make sense in con. Okay, yeah, I don't know enough about Harry Potter, but I can imagine that being annoying, because that's the kind of... Do you watch Cinema Sins? Because if I like watching it sometimes if I haven't quite enjoyed a movie, and I want to make sure someone else has picked up some of the errors. Oh my god, I was watching Angel last night. The episode Sense and Sensitivity, which is hilarious. The cops get sensitivity training with a magic stick, and I'm just like, imagine making that episode today. Let's not give people ideas. Anyway, there's a part where she's where the cop is like kicking some dude, like she'd been chasing a criminal and kicked him, and she kicks him against a car, right? One shot, the car door is open. The next shot, obviously for the stunt actor, the car door is closed. And then the next shot, you see her again and the car door is open again. And I'm just like, this is mistakes that my high school drama and film class made. Like, I was in a group and I'm like, dudes, the bathroom door was closed in this shot and open in this shot. When we edit it, that's going to look dumb. And they didn't listen. Then we get up to editing. They're like, oh, the door's closed now. I fucking told you guys. But that was before I was confident enough to tell people what I like, to insist on things. I was very quiet back then. God knows why I did drama back then, being so shy. But hey, the performer in me wanted to do it. Shy me didn't. The compromise is we do it, but we're shy. Anyway, just amusing to see an error like that I can relate to in something that has more budget and resources than I ever did. Anyway, where did I go to that tangent? Hey, the plot holes. The Hogwarts game looks like Knights of the Old Republic, another game I haven't played. Although some of the Star Wars games, the stories behind them sound interesting, but I'm happy enough to just read them on Wikipedia or wherever. Geez, you guys are really into this game, huh? Any movies you're looking forward to? No, I don't keep up. Cinema Sins is fine. You ever watch that show Cops? No. Sub to Cinema Sins, yeah, among other channels that make similar comment be more specific. Yeah, I don't watch those things very often. Sometimes I go to Cinema Sins just because I've started watching a movie and I want to know what happens, but I also don't want to sit through like another hour of it. So I watch the Cinema Sins like 20 minutes version and they tell me everything that's wrong with it. So then I can be like, yes, these are exactly the reasons I didn't want to watch this. That's me. Have you watched the TV series Lucifer? No, my family watches Lucifer. It seemed like something I should be into, but I think there's a bit too much sex in it, and I can really only concentrate on one series at a time, and this is currently it. Anyway, The Blacklist. My parents watch that too. I'm not that into it. I've seen little bits and pieces, and I don't know. With the 2016, if we finally bring back this live stream to something vaguely resembling on topic, as if you guys keep commenting, in 2016, because I was watching more of those American comedians and sort of learning a bit more about world politics and so on, I stopped watching as much fiction as I used to, and it's been hard for me to get back onto it. Like, even watching one episode of this night is hard enough for me. So I just lost a lot of that fictional interest. Like, I got into the habit of looking at real world stuff. Real world stuff is so stressful. And so now I'm trying to disconnect a little bit, but it's hard because I'm in that habit, right? So, and I think that might also tie in with my problems with creativity, because I'm spending too much time in the real world and not enough in crazy land in my head coming up with ideas. And yeah, I just haven't been watching a lot of fiction. So shit, oh my God, it's already 3:20. Mikey will be home if I don't. Let's see where we're up to. I think the only full series I watched in the past 5 years is Peaky Blinders. I'm more into animation or movies than series. They tend to drag on. Yeah, some series, like even Angel, in the middle, it's just like bit hard. I mean, I'll see what it's like when I finally get up to that. But season 1 of Angel and season 5 of Angel, they're great. But in the middle, there's like this sort of, and Heroes went through that too. A lot of series go through that, like Dexter. Had a few like with Dexter, I like season 1, season 2, season 6. The rest, like they're up and 7 has some good bits, but then it goes a bit off again. I don't know. It's hard with a series because who knows where they're gonna go anyway. Game of Thrones, yeah. I don't watch that. People are like, but it has dragons. And I'm like, yeah, but every time I walk into someone watching it, it's a sex scene, so fuck off. Not a pun. Netflix does a season 3 for Mindhunter. Yeah, I've heard good things about it, but I don't watch Netflix really. I tried watching Yu-Gi-Oh on Netflix, but by the time, like, I got distracted, and by the time I came back, they only had season 3 of the original Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm like, what's the point of that? Like, it even starts on one of the most boring parts of the whole of Yu-Gi-Oh. What? And I was still on season 1. Oh my God. Ancient Alien Theory show. I haven't seen it. And I'm on the fence with Mindhunter. Game of Thrones tried too hard to be gritty and edgy with good gratuitous rape scenes and needlessly heinous characters. It's good, but also kind of cringe. Yeah. Well, you always got to create some kind of drama. Harry Potter has dragons. Yeah, so does Earthsea. But the thing with dragons is, like, I don't like the way that most people portray dragons. I have my idea of what a dragon is like. and it seems I might be alone in my vision of dragons. So I'm a dragon by Asian zodiac. I'm also a Leo by Western zodiac. So I'm a dragon lion. Got the best ones, depending on your. Oh, hello! Someone has bought Generation Excess, my collab. Thank you very much for that. That was Corgi Analog again. Oh my god, thank you so much. Yeah, AD Destroyer. I really like that project. I wish we were doing more. We'll see what happens in the future, but yeah, it's been a bit slow. But I'm glad people are enjoying that. It took so long to get it released. Glad it's finally out there. Lord of the Rings is dragons. Oh my god. I tried reading Lord of the Rings. It drags on too much. I watched the movies though, and I'm glad they just did one movie per book. Turning The Hobbit into 3 movies, I'm just like, you're fucking real. I preferred The Hobbit as a book. Like in terms of the books, I liked the book The Hobbit, but I was not a fan of Lord of the Rings. It was just dragging on too much. I couldn't finish. I couldn't even get very far. With the movies, probably I prefer Lord of the Rings because they didn't drag it on forever. Anyway, so I'm a little bit tired from talking. Mikey will be home in like half an hour. I don't know what time he gets home today. But thank you all for joining me. Yeah, it's funny. Like sometimes like one thing for Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, the book is better for The Hobbit, but the movies are better for the Lord of the Rings part of it. Really, it's so boring. Netflix might be getting Hobbit had 3 books. Netflix has been cancelled, like in terms of cancel culture, by a certain subset of people. I don't know if we have that show in Australia though, so I don't know if Australians are that concerned. Yeah, I know my parents haven't figured out the Netflix outrage, so I think it's just like particular. Maybe it's an American thing. But I don't think Netflix will be that damaged because these companies never really get that damaged. Like cancel culture's amusing because there's only so much it can do, and the rest, I don't know. There are some people who've lost their jobs, but in terms of just boycotting products, there's only so much you can do with it. There's always an audience these days if something's big enough. But yeah, no, there's some weird stuff on Netflix in America, that's for sure. I think Australian Netflix is maybe a bit more tame. We have less content on Australian Netflix, and when I flick through it, there's like I don't watch Netflix, but occasionally I've flicked through it, and I'm just like, I'm not that inspired. We've got Disney Plus now, though. God, that's got a lot of content. I haven't watched anything really, but my brother has, and I'm just like, oh my god. Yeah, let's not get into that. Hey. Anyway, yeah, no. Another thing, like with that whole Lord of the Rings Hobbit book versus movie, another thing I find amusing is that Digimon, like it doesn't even really have a game, the little thing, but the TV show was really good, really dark and complex. Whereas with Pokemon, the games are quite solid, or they were. I don't know what it's like today. I just got the shits with them and all the crap decisions they keep making. But the TV show was really crap. It's like they're opposites, Pokemon versus Digimon. Anyway, it's been great fun hanging out. You're a good conversationalist. I'll have to try and wake up extra early sometime to catch another stream. Thing is, I don't know when I'm going to stream, so don't try too hard. Like I might be here, I might not. I'm actually really enjoying this stream. Yeah, I'm glad you guys have been. Although I should start winding things up because yeah, it's super early at 1 a.m. Ooh. Yeah, I think we all need to take a break. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed this one. It's sort of I'm glad I was able to keep going for some of you who came in a bit later because, parents are around. But I think they figured out that I need a bit of space right now. Rolling the Cosmic Dyson is then sounds. Yeah, if I know that I'm going to live stream, I will try and post like, here's a schedule thing. But with the pandemic and people being around and I have no idea who's doing what, it's just been so hard to plan things. 7:26. Oh my God, you got up so early. Wow, I'm not a morning person at all. Anyway, yeah, no, my brain has been going through a lot of stuff. That's, I think, where I started this stream. I'm trying harder. I've got to go and do something creative. I might go and have some tea when I finish this stream. So maybe that's more motivation to like wrap things up. Wow, I've been up all night. Oh God, my brain would feel like it's exploding. Someone's walking around. So yeah, I should wrap it up. But yeah, I'm going to try really hard to do this creative rehab, get myself back into some state of not feeling shit and empty all the time. Tears life. I'm actually a vampire, so it doesn't matter. Actually, I want to make videos about vampires again because I found my transcripts of my old vampire interviews for those of you who remember that, because I've lost those videos. I could just like remake, or we could revisit. Also, like Sanguinarius, the website, it's not maintained anymore, and I'm a little bit concerned it might, like, it could just disappear. So I didn't actually check, like maybe it's already disappeared, but if I can save some of the information there and just like present it my own way, maybe. But I really need motivation and space to do these things. But let's work on the motivation, doing creative stuff, trying to get a bit more of my nutcase kind of thing going. Stop, stop saying dumb things. Bye, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for coming. I think I'm going to wrap it up now. Have a good weekend. Try not to catch the virus because there are some disturbing long-term effects. Like, even if you don't die, even if you get a mild case, there are some things we're concerned might happen. Stay safe. Try not to get down conspiracy theory rabbit holes. There are no adults in the room. Life is chaos. We just have to get through that. And I will see you whenever the fuck I get to make another video. Bye, guys. You sure that you want to? Oh, I thought I was ending the stream, but no, I have to press this extra button. AI deactivate, you mean? See you guys.